good afternoon, or good morning if you're on the West Coast like I am. Welcome, Jet fans. Welcome, GreenBeaners. We are here for the Miami Dolphin game. It's Black Friday. We are the first team, also the Dolphins, that gets to participate in a Friday NFL football game, the first Black Friday game ever, and we are in it. And I know it wasn't the way it was expected. There is no Aaron Rodgers. I know that's true. But we are still here. We're still playing. And I would rather, historically, for the purpose of history, win this game. And because, I happen to be a Jet fan, GreenBean is at the game right now. I don't know if he's on his way in. He might be at his seat. He'll be calling in. But I'm not going to sit here alone the whole game. I have, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only, you know him, Talking Jets with Tigo. What's up, Tigo?
What is going on, Jeremy? How are you today?
I'm pumped up, man. I'm pumped up. I want to see what a new quarterback does. I mean, I don't know much about him. He's never won a game, but it's new. It's new. And supposedly he knows the system, and they've actually been talking him up this week, saying he's been looking good in practice.
I will say this with Boyle, right, is that the thing that he brings to the table, because I think that was a big question, is how is it with his college career? How did this guy even make it to the league? And I think the one thing that if you ask anybody about Tim Boyle, that'll say is that he is one of the smartest people in the locker room, no matter what. And so he knows that playbook in and out. He knows every check. He knows every play. He knows every alignment. He knows everything about the playbook in and out. And so you hope that with that knowledge of the playbook and that deep understanding of it, that some speed in the game and in processing comes with that. So there you go.
All right. We got Phil Adams with us all the way from London. Our good friend, Phil Adams. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. Aunt Gina is here. She's going to spend Thanksgiving. And I'm happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll get into that. We'll talk about what we did for Thanksgiving. GreenBean loves his Aunt Gina. We got Duncan Lloyd here with us. That's my brother, the improv man, not going hiking. He's going to stay and watch the game. Eric Craig in Texas is here. Jimmy Jets, Tony Alexio. He likes the Chaos package. I think you've seen the last of the Streveler package. Hennessy is here, and Aunt Jets is here. All these familiar names. Sean G, whether you're new, whether you've been here before, make sure you hit those milk thumbs for GreenBean. Helps the algorithm. Give him that help. Remember, we're on GreenBean's channel. This helps his show if you hit that like button. And hopefully we'll earn it, though. Hopefully we'll earn it. David Goodstein, good to see you. We have Rob is here. Chris Bradigan is here from Chicago. See who else we got. We got Matt. I'm calling you back. Matt, who sends me emails, who might want to join my show a little bit. Excited to talk to him about that. Mitt Flair is here. That rhymes. My friend Wildwave is here. So everybody, welcome. I see some people are already talking about, let me try to go back to it. Lazard being a healthy scratch. Tigo, you want to talk about that? How do you feel about Lazard finally being benched?
I was never on the Lazard should be bench train just because I don't trust what's behind him. Right. But I am ultimately, this is good news for me because, I am the biggest Jason Brownlee truther. I made a whole video talking about him being the offensive rookie of the year because I liked Jason Brownlee so much. Now, obviously, that was a little bit hyperbolic and I was just messing around and joking, but still, I love Jason Brownlee and what he can bring. And I hope, can't get much worse. I think Jason Brownlee can be effective blocking in the run game, and that's what we have Lazard for. And if Brownlee can just hold on to the ball better than Lazard can, which is just all Brownlee has to do is not be the worst in the NFL because that's what Lazard is. It should be an improvement. And I think someone else mentioned it in the chat where Hennessy Heisman mentioned it in the chat. I think this is kind of a really good timing because Tim Boyle, who's been our practice squad and our backup quarterback, most of his reps have been going to Jason Brownlee, and Xavier Gibson. So the familiarity there is going to be really, really interesting to see how that develops throughout the game. And obviously, you still have Garrett Wilson, who's a legit number one wide receiver in this NFL.
That's a really good point. So people think might not understand the importance of that. When you practice with certain players, I mean, if you're truly throwing timing patterns, isn't every receiver a little different? Don't you get used to their nuances and how long it takes them to finish the route?
In and out of their breaks, in and out of their steps. I played, obviously, the highest quarterback position I ever played was in high school. I played in my sophomore year, and then a lot of people know this story. No, it was my freshman year, and a lot of people know this story. Matt Milano ended my football career. He went to my high school, and a lot of that is understanding, like, you know, how quickly does someone's feet go? What do they look like when they plant their feet and when they're going to explode, and how quickly can they turn their head around, and where do their eyes go immediately? Now, we never got into the nuances of that, but you assume, obviously, that when you get to the highest level, that's how it is. It's that meticulous. It's that, you know, detailed. How quickly in milliseconds can a wide receiver turn his head and face me, and where are his eyes immediately going to go? So if the ball is in the air while he's turning his head, he can see it. How quickly does he get his hands up? All of those things are super important to the timing of a quarterback and a wide receiver. We heard it all this offseason about Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers understanding each other and their timing and all that stuff. And Boyle's been practicing all year with Brownlee and X and Irv and all of these guys. So there you go. Right. Hell, even Cobb, because Cobb is active today with Lazard being out. So,
and I just want to make the point, like I you know, trading Hardman and not having Lazard in there. I mean, there's nothing behind Wilson at all. I mean, we're hoping that these young guys give a spark. We're hoping they do something. But as far as proven entity, I mean, obviously we're very shorthanded. But let's be honest, the last 6 to 7 weeks, even doing nothing in the game, not really getting open, just running your routes, if you just manage to not get called for penalties, aren't you doing a better job than Lazard did for us?
It's so crazy that that's a statement that you can make and it be kind of true. You like, dude, it doesn't really matter if you're creating separation. It doesn't really matter if you're getting open. Like, just don't hold the guy. That's it. That's all we need you to do. Is just don't hold the guy. And it's crazy that is a legitimate conversation that we're having, but it is.
Right. You literally
just been a detriment with that reason.
Literally just take out your man. Literally just run your route and take out your man
without holding him
to safety. But I honestly, I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, if they underestimate these guys, we saw them in camp. These are talented players. Like, obviously Xavier Gibson, you know, underneath and everything. If he gets the ball in space, we saw that he could be dangerous. He is quick. There's some things he has to work on, but it doesn't mean it takes away that impact. Now, we saw Brownlee make some great catches, contested catches, deeper patterns. So it's not like he can't hurt you. If they underestimate him, if they throw one person on him, they don't double cover him, and they're not worried about him, don't you think he could be a risk? I mean, as bad as people might want to say Boyle is, these are NFL football players. I mean, you and me could go outside in the parking lot, and I could hit you with some pretty good passes. So you think there's a chance they're going to underestimate that? Just the reality that there are people who play football, and if you leave them be, they can hurt you.
I think it's interesting. First, before I answer that question, just for guys in the chat who may not know this, because I saw this comment, I want to make sure everybody can watch the game and have a good time and all that stuff. This game is going to be on Amazon. It's the Black Friday game, so you got to go to Amazon's website if you want to watch it. You got to go to the Amazon streaming app on your television, on your smart TV if you want to watch this game. It will not be on a traditional channel like ESPN, ABC, NBC, Fox, none of that stuff. So if you're curious as where the game is, I know a lot of you already know, but just making sure. Amazon played a lot of money. They're playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers with getting the Black Friday game. So that's there. But going and answering your question, I think it's There is going to be a little bit of a feeling out period with this with how the game is going to go and you're going to have to respect Tim Boyle a little bit more because you just don't know what he is. I still anticipate that the defense is really going to put a lot of their effort in stopping the run, because we know that our offense runs through the run. But Vic Fangio is smart enough and good enough, and he's good enough and smart enough to understand and to be able to break down what our offense is going to be able to do with Tim Boyle.
Mm-hmm. Jolly Green, download the Amazon app. I think it's free. Right? The game is free today.
Should be, I believe.
So if you download the Amazon Prime app, I think you'll be able to get the game. So it's not a channel. It's more of an app that you have to download. Bismo Charismo, he is in Australia. So he is down under. I didn't know they had Thanksgiving down there, or at least he knows about it. So that's good. I think one thing that me and Tigo have in common is I don't think either of us had turkey yesterday.
No, we don't do turkey on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I didn't. I made eggplant parmesan.
We had a barbecue.
Hmm.
We had some picanha and all that other stuff. Brazilian barbecue at our house.
Are you able to get that Brazilian meat, the famous one?
Oh yeah. I would estimate that there are more Brazilians in Central Florida than there are in the entire country of Brazil. It seems like, we have legitimate like Brazilian markets. We have a little Brazil, like it's a whole area where if you go in there, they just assume that you speak Portuguese and all that stuff. So we have a legitimate supermarket in one of our touristy areas where it's like it's just a Brazilian supermarket. It's really, really famous in Brazil. Everyone speaks Portuguese. So yeah, we can get a lot of that. It's really, really cool to be able to get a lot of that stuff that, like I grew up with really, really easily and accessible.
Yeah, dude, it's making me hungry. I love the meat. I'm going to look that up and see if there's any in Sacramento for sure. It's really just the way you cut the meat, right? It's just a different cut and the way it's done.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Right. So you may even get lucky. I might find a butcher who just knows how to do it.
Yeah. There is, I don't remember what the cut is in English. But if you go to a butcher and you like any butcher worth their salt is going to know that cut, and they're going to be able to you'll be able to be like, hey, next time you get like a whole cow in or anything like that, can you cut it up this way for me? What we've started doing is there's a farm not that far from here that you can buy, a quarter cow, a half a cow, a whole cow, or whatever like that. And so we tend to, me and my dad, we tend to split a cow, and then we have a butcher that we can go to, and they help do all the cuts, and we stock our freezer that way.
All right, great. Some people, apparently it might be on Fox as well. So if you're having trouble with Amazon, if you have it on Fox, great. That's another.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
I know the NFL Game Day and all that stuff is going on.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see if it actually holds up when they get the game. Yeah. So Nick Russo is saying the good thing is you do not need Prime, just a free Amazon account.
Yeah.
So guys,
I remember. Yeah.
So even if you're not an Amazon person, the worst case scenario is you download the app, you create an account with an email, and you can watch this game. So this game is available to everyone. Yeah, I am already eating. The timing just happened to work out that way with the delivery and everything.
No, it's not, guys. Don't let them trick you. Before the show, they tried to hand him the food. He's like, no, wait till we go live. I was there. I promise. Why would I lie about that? I have no reason. I'm kidding.
My wife actually just delivered it. I don't know if anybody noticed that happen, but it's good to see Dakota here. Good to see you. So look, I know a lot of people. You see, there are people that still. Look, again, we could say it a million times. Obviously, it would not be a shock if we come out and we don't play well, right? I mean, if Boyle can't lead this offense, none of us can pretend that's shocking. If our defense snaps and breaks because they're on the field too much against this ferocious Miami offense, I mean, they're quick, they're fast, they got tons of talent. Nobody could be shocked. But at the end of the day, we're Jets fans. We're 4-6. If we were to win this game, let's be honest, what we're going to be talking about is, can we win next week, go to 6-6, and be back in the playoff picture? That's what we're going to be saying if we win this game. If he plays really well, and when I say Boyle playing well, I'm not saying he's going to ball out. But let's say it's like a Mike White type of thing where he checks down, but he opens up the game a little bit. And let's say that's enough to pull some guys out of the box and open up Breece Hall. And let's see our defense is back on, where they should be. If we pull off this game, won't we be talking about that? Okay, now we just got to get to 6-6. I mean, what do you think, Tigo?
I've been saying it this week in group chats and all of our and a lot of stuff this week is that while the Miami game is going to be a very, very hard out, I think if we can win 2 of the next 3, right, with Boyle, with Trevor, with whatever is happening at quarterback, if we can walk away 2 of 3 over the next couple of weeks, I think we're still in this, right? I think the magic number is 9 losses. If you hit 9, the season is over. Season is over. But the AFC has just taken a lot of massive blows. Massive blows. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The Chargers are continuing to Chargers all over it. The Bengals and the Browns just lost their number 1 quarterback. Buffalo continues to show chinks in the armor. There is a legitimate opportunity here for the New York Jets to stay competitive. And after the Miami game, the schedule kind of lightens up a little bit. You got the Falcons. That's a team that you can beat with Tim Boyle. Yeah. You Absolutely. Got the Texans, and while they're playing great, that's a team that you can beat with Tim Boyle. Then you run it back with Miami. Again, that's a difficult conversation. But again, if you can win 2 of the next 3, and now you're right in that window of Aaron might come back. Mm-hmm. Aaron might be back for that Miami game on the 17th. I know everybody's got their eyes on that Charger, the Commanders game on Christmas Eve. I am too. That's when I think he comes back. But still, if you can just stay afloat, 2 over the next 3, and then we'll reevaluate. Now we can talk again. Now we can come back to the drawing board. Now we can start looking at having a conversation about, okay, we're still in this. What do these things go? We need a lot of things to go our way with other teams losing, but we're still in this.
If Aaron comes back and we're at 7 losses, then we just win out with Aaron at 10-7. That
has to be playoffs, right?
And when you talk about the parity of the AFC and you look around the conference and all the records, right now it's logical to say that 10-7 gives you a very, very good chance of being a playoff team.
Yeah. And I think that's the point, is that it's hard to look at, the Bengals are at 5 wins right now. Are they going to get very many more wins? The Browns are at 7 wins. Are they going to get very many more wins? Pittsburgh offense seems to be broken just like ours. Are they going to get very many more wins? There's a lot of these things that you start looking at and you start seeing maybe the Colts and the Titans can get swifty in the South and make it competitive and bring all these numbers down. Vegas is playing like they actually want to win games now because they don't hate their lives. So again, the AFC is a lot more closer than I think people anticipate or expect or want to admit.
Nose Kills, I didn't know was in Finland. Thank you for the super chat. Remember, everybody, super chats cut the line, but also they go into GreenBean's account, and you know what happens when GreenBean gets super chats? I'm going to tell you one day, and Tigo knows this very well. Our guy GreenBean's going to have to send his kids to college, and believe me, I know his kids. They're very bright, so he's not going to get away with it. It's not going to, nowadays getting away with it is your kid's not that bright, and they don't go to such a good school, and it's a city school, and you don't have to worry about it. Not so much for GreenBean. His son is super bright. His daughter, Brainy Bean, is even smarter. He's going to have to pay to send those kids to college.
Out the wazoo.
All the super chats you want to give, go to GreenBean, and I promise you, it's one way or another, it ends up filtering out to that, because the reality is, most of you that are parents know, is where everybody's money goes nowadays if you have kids. So, just a little shout out there for GreenBean. He'll be calling in from the game. Thanks for the super chat, Nose Kills. You are eating salmon. Okay, well, that's healthy. 8 Brazilian barbecue in Niagara Falls. So my first NFL game, Jets Patrick, week 3, same trip. Barbecue was better. But Brazilian barbecue is the best. One of the greatest experiences. When I go into a good Brazilian steakhouse, it's nothing but pleasure for me. Like, it's just the only challenge I have, the biggest challenge I have, is not filling up on those incredible little bread balls and the crazy salad buffet.
Yep.
The crazy salad bar. That's my biggest challenge, is not filling up, because they're always like the greatest salad bars in the world.
The great part is, one, I'm not a big salad guy, and when you go there, I want dead animals. I want mountains of dead animals on my plate. Like, that's what I'm there for. But also, like, so what you're referencing is the pão de queijo, which is translated into English is just cheese bread. The reason, and a lot of people have that same issue. Like, we don't, because like I have it in my freezer right out there. If I want some, I'll just. We do that for breakfast every Saturday, so we do like a family breakfast. So we just got them. So like whenever we go, it's one of those things where it's just like, hey, we don't need this. We got this at home. Salad, I can go to Publix and get some salad. We don't eat salad while we're here. We're here for dead animals. That's what I want.
Yeah. That's I mean, I try not to eat it. The bread we get it at Trader Joe's now. It's not as good as in the steakhouses, but we get it because my wife is celiac and they're gluten-free. So there's also a bakery, a cafe in Sacramento that has them. We haven't had them there yet, but we're really excited to go there and try them. But you're right. It's hard to lay off those if you don't have them all the time. But if you have them all the time, it's easier. The one time I was able to lay it all off of it, it was so worth it, because I was able to eat so much more of the meat. And like you, I agree. That's what I want to fill up on. I got my little green, my card turned to green. And every time they come, it doesn't matter what they're holding on that skewer. I'm just put it on the plate. Put it on the plate, So good stuff. The players are on the field. They did the announcements. I would imagine GreenBean is in his seats cheering and enjoying himself. I hope he is. I know that when we did the Chargers game, when we were there, they didn't get to their seats until we were already down 7-0. At least half the crew, because they were on the field doing the on the field experience. And by the time they got back to their seats, it was 7-0, and subsequently that ended up being the game right there, because we only scored 6 points. What do you think the energy is like in the stadium? I'm told that Miami likes to do their takeover. They like to come up to MetLife. They're doing great this year. They're in first place. What percentage of the MetLife do you think are Miami right now?
It depends on how much faith the Jets fans had, right? Because all of these tickets, all of these everything, they were being sold and being really, really pushed when Rodgers was still healthy. And when we were expecting Rodgers to play on Black Friday. So I think it comes down to how many of these Jets fans gave up on the season when he sat back down and started selling their tickets and stuff like that. I don't know. I think we're still going to get a good chunk of Jets fans in the stadium. I would still say, obviously, like they should be the majority, and I think a lot of people are going to be revitalized with the fact that they benched Zach Wilson, something that I know I didn't have on my bingo card of things that was going to happen this year.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that might save it is a lot of people may have paid a lot of money for their tickets, and they're not able to get fully reimbursed, and a lot of people have trouble walking away when they spend a lot of money on something. So maybe we'll get some fans who didn't sell just because they paid so much, and they'll go. I don't understand. The one thing I don't understand is no matter how bad we are, we have the best tailgates. Like, MetLife is such a fun place to tailgate. So at least you have that. You have an amazing place to tailgate if you're at MetLife. So even if the team is bad.
It's interesting. Again, so I went to my first game this year. It was the home opener, so I got introduced to all that stuff. And that was crazy to me, man. Just how crazy the tailgate experiences and all of that stuff.
Did you get to see Nick or anybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to see everyone who was at the game. The only person I didn't get to see was Dom, but that was because Dom got there like right as the game started. We were headed inside and we were on opposite sides of the stadium, and it was hard to like. MetLife is not easy to get around. Jesus, man, just not easy to get around. So I didn't get to see Dom, which sucked.
Right. That does suck, but next year we got to all coordinate and make sure we're at the same game next year. Jason Radcliffe comes in, says, happy holidays to you. Let's go green, baby. Let it roll. And we got JW here, Sean Bennett. So a lot of people have joined as we get closer to the game. We're almost there. We got Billy SBC here. Thanks for being here. Kevin Callahan. Everybody's coming out today. Even my wife, who brought me my food. Thank you, honey. I might need another one of those double cheeseburgers. We are getting close to the game. We're almost there. Let's do some score predictions before we run out of time. Put it in the chat. What is your prediction for the score? We'll go over our predictions while you're putting it in the chat, everybody. Mark from Ashbury, our pizza guy. What is the score of today's game going to be? And remember, we're going to have Matt O'Leary and Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7 on the show at halftime. Tigo, what do you think the final score is?
I'm going to have it be a low scoring affair. I still think our defense is elite, and I think our offense is going to struggle. I'm going to say 17-14 good guys.
You're predicting a Jets victory.
I have to. I may not believe with that wholeheartedly, but, you know, I'm a Jets fan. I'm never going to root against my team. I busted out my version of the Tim Boyle jersey to support number 7 under center. You know, got to do what you got to do.
I think we're going to shock the world, and I think it's going to be 27-13 our New York Jets. 27-13. Once our offense gets going with Boyle today, once we start throwing the ball around a little bit, it's going to open up Breece Hall. We're going to get ahead. They're going to try to pass the ball, and they're going to get sacked many times. So that's my prediction. Billy SBC believes in something else, probably a more likely scenario where the Dolphins are going to win 30-6, which looks
I don't know about the Dolphins putting up 30.
I
don't know about the Dolphins putting up 30. I think we can keep them under 20.
I mean, if they do, I think it'll be because of turnovers, you know. I mean, Sauce Gardner could cover Tyreek Hill.
Did it last year.
Mm-hmm.
DJ can cover both of them. You know what I mean? Like this is a team where it's just like, dude, they got 2 legitimate deep threats. They got 2 legitimate wide receivers in Waddle and in Tyreek Hill. And you know what? We've got 2 legitimate top 10 cornerbacks in the NFL. And even with Michael Carter II out, you know, I still have faith in our boys to go out there and get it going. So here we go. Game's about to start. We start with the ball first. Very exciting.
Oh, okay. We won the toss. I see Salah on one side. I see his friend on the other. Remember, these 2 coaches are really good friends.
Yeah, they were both on that San Francisco roster.
Yeah. Both came together. Kind of wish we would have gotten McDaniels as an offensive coordinator.
That's who I wanted to.
Yeah, that would have been great if we would have gotten them as an offensive coordinator. Kickoff is out of bounds, and that would put the Jets at the 25-yard line. Interesting. A lot of teams I noticed since last week with us, a lot of teams have been putting the kickoffs in play.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes it's working out, and they're actually successful in keeping people behind the 25-yard line. But it certainly worked against us, obviously, with the fumble last week.
It's I think people are starting to realize that the punt returners and the kick returners aren't as good as they used to be. They're not as polished as they used to be because they're just not running those reps in game very often. How many mistakes are we seeing from these guys, you know?
Yeah. Breece Hall for a gain of maybe 1.
Yeah, you can start to see like this is what I'm liking out of the offense so far is that we're seeing motion. on the offense. Tim Boyle and all of that stuff can get the plays out quickly. And so we're starting to see a lot of motion, which is pretty good. I want to see what the offensive line combination is. If anyone has seen who's playing where and what's doing what, if you can put that in the chat, or if I can figure it out.
I know it's Newman and Mitchell on the one side, on the right side.
Is that Brown on the left, or is that
center? Good run for Breece Hall that was about 6-7 yards, and it's going to be like a 3rd and 2-ish, 3rd and 2. Okay, we start with the running play. Quick tempo or already in shotgun. Oh, looks like Miami jumped. Could be a free play. That's a first down to Brownlee, I think.
Yes, it is.
That's Brownlee for a first down.
You love to see that. Again, taking advantage of the free play and getting on the cadence and getting these teams to jump and do the right things. You know, it's a great opportunity for this team to really get going and to get moving. And so we're already starting to see, I've been saying this a lot about this offense, specifically about Nathaniel Hackett and how he's been handcuffed with Zach's inability to go out there and truly operate a full offense. And we're starting to see now, again, it's 4 plays, right? But we're starting to see pre-snap motion, starting to help the quarterback diagnose. There has yet to be a snap where there isn't a motion. There is yet to be a snap where there isn't guys moving and doing different things and different schemes. So you'll love to see that from our offense, opening up the playbook with someone who knows the calls a lot better.
Certainly nice to start out with a first down, and the pass looked good. It was to Brownlee that takes some butterflies out of his stomach. I like the start. We got Brownlee stopped in motion. Now he's coming out of the slot. The ball goes over the head of Jeremy Ruckert.
Yeah. Defender in your face. It's hard to get it over and right to that player, especially when someone is 6'8" and running right at you and doing all those things. But that's what the quarterback's got to do. You got to be able to do those things. And again, a good sustained opening drive is what I would like to see from this Jets, right? We didn't do a 3 and out. We got a first down on a free play, which is great, but let's keep that momentum going. Let's keep that happening.
Okay, we got a run play, and he's taken probably behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2.
Yeah. Jalen Phillips versus Max Mitchell is going to be a mismatch all game long, and you can see just what he can do and how he can wreck a game on his own.
Yeah, you're going to have to give him some help. If you want to run those plays, you're going to have to give him some help.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, unfortunately, we're going to have a 3rd and long. 3rd and 12 in shotgun. 5 wide receiver set. No one in the backfield. Stays in the pocket. Makes a nice little pass. Unfortunately, not going to be nearly close enough for a first down.
No. But we put Thomas Morstead in a position to really, pin them back in their own zone. He's been doing this all year. So this is a great opportunity for, our guys to do the right thing and to really just, let's keep them pinned in their zone. It's time for the defense to come out and ball out. And again, what's something that we just saw this drive, which is kind of promising? Hey, we saw first down. We saw another set of first downs, right? While in the end, they took the penalty for the first down because it ended up being more yards than the pass. We got the pass off. It was a 4-yard gain, and we just took the 5 yards. So again, this defense stays elite, and if they can hold up, I think we can at least be competitive. If we can win the field position battle, we can do some damage. We need some turnovers from the defense, though. We got to start bringing that into our game.
And we have an opportunity now as Miami's starting at the 15-yard line. So if we could hold them and stop them here, maybe we can, establish early field position in the game.
Absolutely. And I think you got to start. If you're Jeff Ulbrich in this situation, again, I am not a defensive guy. I'm not a defensive mind. I don't understand the defensive play calling philosophies and all that stuff all that great. I am more of an offensive mind. That's where my background in football comes from. But if I'm Ulbrich, I'm coming out aggressive here on this first play, and I think I'm sending 6 guys, and I'm going after Tua, and I'm getting him scared early. I'm going to trust my corners. I'm going to put them in man coverage. I'm going to, and I'm sending guys. Just like we did in that first game last year where Sauce comes off the edge and takes out Teddy Bridgewater. I would do something similar. Maybe not send Sauce. I would like Sauce back in coverage, but let's bring in Quincy. Let's bring in CJ. Let's just send the house and let's see what happens,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm with Kevin here. I would love to see a pick 6.
Same.
Yeah, I would love it. It would be great.
Yeah.
As a Jet fan, it would be a good thing for the Jets, I think, to get a pick 6 here, especially if it was Sauce.
Yeah.
That would give us an excuse to yell Sauce. I'm going to look and see. If we have getting ready just in case I'm thinking positively. I'm actually getting ready for us if we do score a touchdown. So
I would do a quick refresh on your stream and see if you can catch up a little bit because I think you're way behind on me.
Really?
Yeah. You're seeing the play as I'm seeing the next play.
Yeah, well, that's not uncommon with
of course.
You're
across the country and all that different stuff.
Yeah.
But let's just see. Maybe refreshing a catch up.
It's possible. Okay. Well, now I see the skyline of something. Someplace. That looked like Central Park.
I think it was.
Okay, so you go under center. I mean, Tua under center. Nice play. That was Quinnen Williams?
Yeah, Quinnen blew up the play, him and JJ back there almost immediately, but then flag on the play cancels out again these dumb penalties, canceling out positive plays. Quinnen gets back there and does something great, and now we just get another unnecessary roughness call on Jefferson.
And it's like a different guy every week.
It's such a soft call, man. All he did was like a little nudge on the guy, and you're like, it's just, I hate the way that the Jets get reffed. It's just, like.
Oh, that was stupid. I mean, that was really stupid. You got to, whether you agree with the ref or not, on Jefferson's part, it was so stupid. We are a struggling football team. You absolutely cannot do that.
Like, dude, and on a positive play, like I get it. And I agree with Jimmy Jets. It is such a weak call, but who cares? Stop putting yourself above the team.
Right. It's like I get it. If I'm the ref, I'm not calling that. I might go over and say, take it easy, guys. But at the end of the day, if you're Jefferson, what was the purpose of doing that?
Again, the guy gave him an extra hit after the play was and the whistle was done. And again, but this is like, it's like hockey. They're never going to call the person who aggresses. They're going to call the retaliation every single time. Don't let it happen.
Oh, fumble. Looks like they recovered.
Great play there by Ashton Davis going in there and knocking the ball out. And you love to see that, right? It's not just tackling. It's going out there and just boom, hitting them and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And Ashton Davis does it all the time.
He's a player that I did not expect to take the jump that he did this year. Like he's a guy who I originally did not have on my 53-man roster.
I know.
He made it. Ooh, Saleh with the red flag challenging that was a catch. I love this. I love this by Robert Saleh. I agree. I don't think he made a football play once he had possession. I think he knocks it out. I think that's an incomplete pass.
I mean, the thing about Ashton, it's hard to say what they'll do, but The thing about Ashton Davis is, I mean, this is every week now. I mean, he did it twice 2 weeks ago. I mean, he forces mistakes. He strips the ball, but it's not like he's doing it missing tackles. He's actually doing it the right way. I want to see him on the field all the time right now. The way he's playing, this is a guy that has to be getting reps.
I think he will. With Michael Carter II out, I think we're going to see a good dose of Ashton Davis. I think Ashton Davis is probably better suited to play as that slot corner than Brandon Echols. I think Brandon Echols is more of an outside corner, and I love me some Brandon Echols. But I think Echols is better suited to play on the outside. And I think Ashton, if you're not going to play him as that, deep, free-ranging safety, I think playing him in the slot and allowing him to truly use that athleticism. What have we always said about Ashton Davis for years? Elite athlete, elite athlete, elite athlete. Let him use that elite athleticism against some other elite athletes that we know Miami has on their wide receiver room.
Yeah. Johnny Jimenez, welcome to the chat. It's good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Hope your family had a great Thanksgiving. Why do we do stupid penalties? I'm at the point where it's week after week and it's continuing and we can't make it stop. To me, that's a coaching issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's a coaching issue.
It's one of those things where when you coach, this is one of those things where when you coach a guy that is when you coach a team that is this aggressive, because that's how we coach our defense, is aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. It comes to bite you back in this way. And the fact that this coaching staff has not been able to rein that in is a problem.
Mm-hmm. Would you consider benching Jefferson here?
They already did. They pulled him off right after the play. Next play, he wasn't on the field. And remember, we don't have a ton of depth on the interior of the defensive line. So we're starting to see a little bit more of that accountability that a lot of people have been clamoring for. I know that was something that you were hounding on, made a mistake. Okay, cool. You're going to sit for one. And so we're starting to see a lot more of that accountability. We see that with Alan Lazard not being in this game. You know what I mean? He's benched. We're not seeing him. Accountability, accountability, accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And we won the challenge. Great 2nd and 10, exactly how it should have been called.
Wow. It's nice to see we finally get a break. Get the right call.
Yeah. Daniel Murphy makes a great comment here. This is the biggest mismatch in this game. It's always going to be the biggest mismatch because Quinnen Williams is so good. But Quinnen Williams versus the interior offensive line, especially with Miami's being so weak, is going to be a very, very interesting place we got to keep our eyes on all game.
Ooh, Tyreek Hill with the ball, with the sweep. Gets forced out of bounds. Good play. Good sealing the edge. Good job.
Yep. Great. Again, limiting the big explosive plays. We know how good Tyreek Hill is. And if you allow him to turn that corner, we didn't let him 3rd and 8, 3rd and long in this situation. Let's create some havoc.
%70 completion pass for Tua this season, which is kind of remarkable. He's in shotgun. It's 3rd and 8. Big play for the Jets. Can we get off the field? We'll find out right now. He's going deep. And it's to Tyreek Hill for a big play to the 35-yard line. He looks hurt. He's limping. But Miami gets the big play. So there's a huge play for Miami, but it may have cost him Tyreek for the, I don't know. It looks pretty bad. He's limping pretty bad.
Yeah, he was limping off the field there in that situation. You never like to see an injury on any player at any point, but if he has to miss some time, if he has to miss the rest of the game, whatever it is, that's a big, big hit in Miami overall. I don't like the call from Jeff Ulbrich in that situation to man up on 3rd and long, man press on 3rd and long. Why not give these guys a little bit of a cushion, especially knowing that they need to get behind you? The amount of speed that they have, it's just.
And now Waddle goes for 8 yards. And again, this keeps bringing up the penalty from Jefferson that started this drive, that got them into it. That doesn't look like it's going to be a good news for Tyreek, if you ask me. I'm not saying it's the end of the world, but it's not looking good for him. I don't think that's going to just heal itself in 10 minutes.
No,
Although
it might take some time. An elbow right there. I don't know if you saw the replay, but he took that, again, totally unintentional, but he took that elbow right there in that calf, right there in that ankle area. That's not an easy it's not an easy place to take a sharp point, especially at speed. But Hill is back out there.
Oh, he is out there. Okay.
Yeah, he just got it taped up.
So it is now third down. I thought I saw his ankle drag a little. That's why I was worried for him. It's third down and short now. Now, this has been a problem for us. I mean, we just saw it third and 8 last play. It's, we got to get off the field on third down. So This is the time to do it right now before, make him go for 3 points, get off the field right now. That's what they need to do.
Real quick, I'm going to take this timeout. I'm going to go get my son real quick who just woke up.
Yeah, get the boy. Looks like a timeout for Miami. And let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Reed stopped it. I mean, we're not gonna. We have to be. Hopefully, you're saying hooray to something I haven't seen yet. That's good news. We really can't. I hope people aren't going to expect Reed to be able to shut these guys out. I know it's a disappointing play, but being asked to go man with Tyreek Hill, I mean, he's probably the best wide receiver in the NFL right now, arguably. Right? I mean, we could argue some other names. I mean, they're gonna make plays. If you're gonna go man on man with Hill, he's gonna make some plays, and we can't get too upset about it. I mean, it's just the reality. So, shotgun Tua throws it to Hill behind the line of scrimmage. He takes off. He's going. He's running all the way to what is that? Oh my God, that is like a 15-20 yard gain. I don't know where we were on that one, but they're outsmarting us. They're out coaching this defense. I mean, Tyreek catches that little pass. Our guys get stuck on the outside. We get guys. Oh, yeah, they just. Very smart offensive coordinator taking advantage of our defensive line's pursuit. Now it's 11-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 11.5, 12-yard line. It's a run play again who is that? Webster. Mostert. That was Mostert for about 1 or 2 yards. 2nd down. Oh, is that the little Tigo?
Yep.
Hey, buddy.
Just woke up from his nap.
Hey, buddy. Look at me. I'm bald. Okay. He'll keep me from cursing and screaming and yelling and losing my cool. Yeah, so here we are now. It is 2nd down. 2nd and 4. Well, that was a 6-yard gain. Wow. Ooh, almost a great play. They still got him for only like a yard and a half. That was Mostert again. I'm trying to see who it was. Somebody got to the backfield and almost made a great tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Just didn't happen, though. 3rd down and short.
If we can hold them to a field goal in this situation, this would be huge. Yeah,
definitely would be a victory if they held them to a field goal here. I mean, a small victory. If they were able to hold them here. We haven't been able to get off the field on 3rd down yet today, so it'd be nice. This is the time to do it. To his back. He's looking. Way too much time. He's going to take off. A good tackle from Whitehead.
Great hit
from Whitehead there.
Great hit by Whitehead, stopping that play here, and we can get out of this with no points right here. They're going for it on 4th and short in the red zone. Let's make sure that, take care of the football. Watch where you're going. Do the right things, and let's just not get the touchdown. Don't give up the yard. Don't give up the big play.
Could they be trying to draw us off sides?
I don't think so. I think they go for it.
Okay.
McDaniel is that type of guy. He's going to go for it. He's going to try to make the play. And if you're the Jets, I like what I'm seeing here, right? Sauce on Hill one-on-one.
Is there a flag? Sauce knocked it down.
Nope. Again, absolutely. Joe Campignoni says it beautifully here. I think I said the last name correct. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. But he says it beautifully here. The disrespect to the defense to be in that position. You have the ability to get 3 points. You just take your points and go. No, you want to go out there. You want to test this defense. You want to go one-on-one against Sauce, and it comes back to bite you in the ass. The New York Jets walk away without giving up any points. Now it's just about this offense. Let's get a sustained drive, and let's just get the ball moving. Big play by Sauce right there.
Now, this is where if we had any kind of competent offense, we'd all feel so great. This is the kind of thing that changes the momentum of a game. It's a big deal. But with our offense, doesn't it feel a little different when you don't have confidence in your offense?
And we don't have space. There's not much space to operate this offense, you know? And with how battered the interior of the offensive line is, like, they've got a really, really good, you know, set of players there on the interior of the defensive line in Miami. His name is escaping me right now. I'm going to look it up real quick. But he has been wrecking games this year. Wilkins, there it is. Christian Wilkins. He's been doing really, really good things in the interior of the defensive line. So, you know, it's a mismatch, him versus Newman and all of that stuff. So let's try and take advantage of that and maybe run outside.
Okay, so that was on Hill, according to the chat. They're saying that was on Hill. Sauce.
I think that's a lot of hand fighting there. Like it's hard to hold on to that ball. It was a beautiful ball by Tua. Not going to take that away from him. And Hill should come down with that. But it's hard when you got, you know, Sauce Gardner hanging over the top of you, all 6'3", 200 pounds hanging over you and hitting your arms and doing all that stuff. So, again, it's a good play all the way around.
Yeah, look, it would be nice if we could do something here and make them pay for it. This is when you want to make a team pay. Like Joe Campione said, disrespect. When a team disrespects you and it backfires on them, you want to make them pay. If we could turn this into points, that would be a nice turnaround. I do want to say it the way Joe wrote it, though. He didn't just say disrespect like I'm saying it, like disrespect. Joe meant it like disrespect. You know what I mean? Like he's saying it with some attitude. So think about it that way. Like we need to take an attitude on what they just did to us. That's a slap in our defense face. We have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they just went for it in 4th and short instead of taking guaranteed points. We got a fullback back there. Fake. It's a play action. He's going to take the safety. Is that a turnover? Is that a live ball?
My estimation is that it's going to be an incomplete pass. We saw Tyler Conklin in the area. His arm moved forward to launch the ball. That's a great play by Tim Boyle there if it goes that way. I think the question is, was his knee down? Because he was coming down. I think it was Conklin in the area. I need to see the replay. Nope, it was Nick Bawden in that area. So
they're saying incomplete pass?
Incomplete. It's exactly what you hope to see.
That's amazing that he didn't get called for grounding or anything. He was able to throw it to somebody, like you said.
Not taking the safety there is huge, right?
Yeah.
That's huge.
Oh, yeah. It's not the ball. There's no. Oh, well, you can't challenge that judgment call on a penalty. So here we go. Somebody's in motion. That's 82. Gibson, a running play, trying to get some space to Hall. He gets us to like the 4, still short of the 5-yard line.
Really, empty backfield on 3rd and 10. Let's see how this turns out.
It would be really, really nice to get a first down. You know? Not saying it's easy, but it would be nice. Again, you're way ahead of me, I think.
John Hepburn Becton is not playing today.
Okay. We do a lot of, we got 4 receiver sets, 2 tight ends, right? So. Pass to Conklin. He's not going to get the first down, but he did get it out to like the 9-yard line.
Yeah. It's one of those play designs where you try to get the ball out quickly and you hope the guy can miss. Conklin has that ability to make a guy miss, and so you just trust that he's going to go do it. You know that they're going to be protecting at the sticks. Like that's what their goal is going to be as a defense, is they're going to be trying to protect the sticks. So you try to get guys out in front of the sticks and then get a guy underneath to going on that.
So Kate Yeti says, why not do that on first down, that play?
Again, I can't complain about that first down call. That first down call was a play action with an expected deep shot to Garrett Wilson that just got blown up. The protection didn't hold up. And so I'm not disagreeing with the play call. I think it was you play action in your own zone within your own 5, and you expect that the team is going to be playing the run. You get Garrett Wilson running up over the top. Boyle just didn't have time to turn his head around and his body around to let it rip because the protection didn't hold up. So I don't have a problem with that first down call.
Miami's going to have the ball after a little return by Berrios on their own 45-yard line. So good position for Miami. But, I mean, when you look at the last bunch of sequences, we've pushed them back from the 3-yard line or 4-yard line to their own 45. So there's that. First down play, pitches the ball. So the running back, it looks like a gain of 3 to 4 yards. Decent enough play.
I like the hustle there that we saw from Solomon Thomas, getting into that backfield and then not giving up on the play, getting behind and really doing what he can to get out there.
I feel like right now our defensive line is invisible. They've only had one chance to really go after Tua, and he had a ton of time on that play in the last drive. A little concerning. Hopefully we will eliminate that. You can't give this kid with those receivers that much time.
Yeah.
Here we go. We got some pressure coming from Clemens. He gets the ball off, though, to his tight ends for a first down.
Yeah. Again, tight end found that gap in the zone and just Tua, just with the touch gets it there where he needs to. A good tackle by Jordan Whitehead there to make sure that they didn't get any extra yardage.
Yeah. It's a really good offense, people. It's going to be hard to stop them from getting first downs. It's not going to be easy to just 1, 2, 3 and out them, especially in the first half. I mean, we definitely have tendencies to do better in the second half.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard with this offense just does so many things so well. They've got some of the best receivers in the game, some of the best running backs in the game right now.
Yeah. 15-yard run for Wilson. So they're almost at the Jets' 30-yard line. So here we go again. We're in a position where we're hoping we could just hold them to a field goal. They hold our defensive lineman every week with no call. Honestly, I wasn't looking for it, so I haven't noticed it yet. But
Hennessy's absolutely right here.
I mean,
every single play, there's an arm up around a neck and we never get a call. We're getting punished for having such a dominant defensive line, and I'm honestly getting sick of it. If they're holding, call the holding. If it's every play, call it every play until the team figures out how to block without holding. It's insane.
I feel like it's they hold Huff every play. That's how I feel. I feel like Huff is always being held.
But it's not just Huff.
So
it's Huff. It's
so
Q.
Super chat. Yeah, they hold Q all the time. Well, he's being double teamed too and held. So, 2 in the backfield. He throws it out to Tyreek Hill, who tries to power his way for the first down, but is knocked out of bounds about a yard short of the first down.
Short of the sticks. This is a big hold by the defense here. 3rd and 1. Like you got to see what are they going to do.
Yep, they're already in field goal range. They are creeping up on the 20-yard line. So if they get a first down here, they're at the 20-yard line. So got to hold them here. 3rd and 1. Here we go. Looks like pretty much a standard yard. Not a short yard, not a long yard. Oh, they fooled the cameraman, which threw me off, but it looks like an incomplete pass, and I don't see any flags.
Yeah, no, great coverage there.
Now let's see if they go for it on fourth down. What do you think, Tigo?
No, again, I'm a little bit ahead, so I can't tell you they send out the field goal unit. But I think it's just a great play from the defense there, not getting fooled by the play action, not getting fooled by all the bodies going everywhere. And then CJ is just all over Smythe, didn't bite on the run, didn't bite, just said, no, this is my guy. He's not catching this.
And Miami's going to take the field goal, which they execute perfectly right through the upright. 3-0 Miami Dolphins. Another question, Tigo, have you considered, I don't know if you did it for Halloween, maybe next year, for Halloween dressing up as the Miami coach?
I can't put the Miami Dolphins logo on my body.
Just feel like if you combed your hair, if you did a pullover with your hair, you might be able to pull it off.
I could pull it off. I could look but I can't. I would rather die than put that logo anywhere on me. Ugh. Can't do it.
3-0 Miami. And I gotta say, I'm not gonna lie, it feels much bigger than 3-0. I mean, I feel like we've been dominated, like they've completely outplayed us completely. And again, our defense finds a way to keep us in the game. A lot of teams, you get outplayed like this in the first quarter and you're looking up and you're down 14-0. And somehow we're not. We're down 3-0. But it feels really big. We got 1 first down so far. We've only had the ball twice. It feels like Miami has had the ball the entire game. What do we need to do here?
I think the protection needs to hold up just a little bit longer. I understand that Miami is doing has really good guys up there on that defensive line, and Wilkins and Phillips and Chubb and all of those things, but where they tend to struggle, Miami, is in coverage. They don't have the best, in my opinion, group of DBs outside of Jalen Ramsey and Javon Holland, who are having some of the best years since Ramsey came back. He's been on fire, but I think you need to have them respect your pass a little bit more. I'd like to see a deep shot. I'd like to see a couple more screen plays, get this defense taking a beat so that they can't just rush the passer. We normally talk about you have to earn the right to run the ball. You have to earn the right to pass with the run. I think we're going to have to do a little bit of the opposite with this one. I think we're going to have to earn the right to run the ball with the pass. So I think that's something that we got to do a little bit better is give Boyle just a half a second, man. He just needs a half a second more.
While we're at this little break, I just want to say GreenBean is actually joining. And Tico, you might get invited to do this too. You should listen to this because we're going to have the Jet content providers take turns doing this. We're going to do a live show on Brooklyn Brothers Food Review where we're eating hot sauce and rating super, super hot sauces. And GreenBean has agreed to come onto the show with my brothers and sample some hot sauces. So we're going to be giving details of that in the future. But if you want to see an opportunity to see GreenBean eating one of the hot sauces is going to be over 2 million Scoville units. So if you want to see GreenBean turn red and suffer a little bit, make sure you go over to Brooklyn Brothers Food Review, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Obviously, in the future, we'll be making announcements about it. And then we're going to ask other YouTube Jet content providers. Matthew O'Leary is not safe. I'm going to target him. And Tico, maybe we'll try to get you to do it. Anyway, the Jets got the ball to 25-yard line. It's 1st and 10. And here we go. It's a pitch. It's fumbled by Breece Hall, who picks it up, and he's running around the other side and gets tackled for a 5-yard loss. Is it just, if I didn't know Breece Hall from before 3 weeks ago, I would say he's a shitty running back. But isn't it really more the offensive line?
You can't blame the offensive line on that.
Yeah, well, that's him. That's him.
It's the concentration mistakes that are happening right now. Like it's looking downfield before the ball is in your hand. It's these little things, man. That's just like it's not just it's everybody on the team. Garrett Wilson is doing it. Breece Hall is doing it. It's these little concentration mistakes, and And this is one of the things where, again, it comes down to, we got to have this conversation, which is just like, coaching, man. That's a coaching error. Allen Lazard dropping the ball, that's a coaching error. And I like our new wide receivers coach, but to continue to see this happening, not just from Allen Lazard, but from all of the wide receivers, is disappointing.
It took our second down play to get that yardage back. It was a 6-yard pass to Wilson. So now we're back in a 3rd and 10 situation. So we literally had to use a play just to make up the yards that we lost from the play before that. These are the mistakes that kill your team. It's 3rd and 10. You just don't feel confident that you can convert with this offense. It feels like it may as well be 3rd and 30. There's a penalty. It's motion on the Jets. Another mistake from the New York Jets.
And this is where the issues of the wide receiver room come to play. I love me some Jason Brownlee. I love me some Xavier Gibson. But these guys are clearly not ready to play yet. And it's a problem. We're starting to see these mistakes starting to affect the play. Not starting. Like we keep seeing these mistakes affecting the play at every level. So now we end the first quarter on that penalty, and it's just like, how are you going to ever get a first down if every single time you're starting from, you can never move you can never be below 10 yards because some penalty is going to put you over 10 yards. Some mistake on the offensive side of the ball is going to put you over 10 yards. It's hard to overcome that.
I mean, there were 2 mistakes on this drive already. We're talking about a fumbled handoff. They couldn't execute a handoff.
It was a toss.
Right, or a toss. And now we got the penalty to make it 3rd and 15. So we're going to have 2 mistakes that are avoidable. 2 mistakes that shouldn't happen. Happen. It should not be hard for an NFL offense to execute a toss.
Yep.
A quarterback tossing a ball to an NFL running back should never result in that. Maybe that's 1 out of every 1,000 times.
It's happening to the Jets weekly.
It happens all the time. It's like, it is unbelievable. And then to get the penalty, they cannot go a drive without shooting themselves. And this has got to be on coaching. If you can't go out there and execute a drive without multiple mistakes, it's 100% coaching. 100%.
I think ultimately this comes back down. Absolutely. But I think ultimately this comes back down to, this is going to be a weird little segue, but I don't think so. I think it ultimately comes down to the general manager. Jason Brownlee and Xavier Gibson went undrafted for a reason. And they're in a position now to play a big role for this team in a big way. And we're starting to see the lack of action in the wide receiver room. It's just, and we saw that at the trade deadline. He knew that he had messed up by going after these big names and making calls on Higgins and, Evans and Adams and all of these things. But at the end of the day, we have Garrett Wilson and then guys that I'm pretty sure are just winning lotteries out of the stands to play wide receiver for the New York Jets. And I don't know how you're going to win that way.
And this is what's been driving me crazy. I think they're playing conservative because they're afraid of mistakes and they're playing to keep it close. And really what playing to keep it close for the New York Jets is, don't make any mistakes and put it all on the defense's shoulders to keep us in the game for as long as possible. But at some point, don't you have to do something? Like, does it make sense to wait until the end of every game to finally decide you're going to let loose? Or should they try to take them off guard, go downfield right in a situation right now?
Again, it's hard. It's hard to do those things when the only person that's a threat downfield is Garrett Wilson, and you have when you arguably have the best safety in football and one of the best corners in football covering him.
A screen pass that goes for a loss.
Yeah.
I mean, just a wasted play. And I gotta say, as much, and I hate to, feed it because we're only down 3-0. But it's hard to argue with a fan right now. It's hard to argue because I feel it too. This is hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's really hard to watch. It might only be 3-0, but it's hard to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, Miami just now, Berrios took the ball to their 40-yard line. So this is another drive that they're going to start with great field position. Hopefully the end of the quarter gave our defense a little bit of a break to rest. But you cannot keep our defense on the field, and you cannot give so many offensive reps to the Miami Dolphins and expect this to last any longer.
Yeah, it's a problem, man, and they're just gonna chip away, and they're gonna chip away, and they're gonna chip away, and they're gonna chip away, and that's what this is what this Miami offense does. They just don't get off the field. And yes, they have the ability to single-handedly go out there and just change a game and wreck it in one play, but a majority of the time, it's a 4-yard gain here, it's a 6-yard gain here, it's a 4-yard gain here, and they just stay ahead of the chains. That's it. They stay ahead of the sticks, and it's hard, man. It's hard to look at this offense and seeing, like, I think a comment said it before. It's 3 points, and it seems insurmountable.
Yeah. And mental block is one. Yeah, that's one way to say it. I don't understand. I can imagine what's going on in camp and what in the practices and what's going on during the week when it's week after week. I mean, what are they thinking on the practice? Does it look different in practice? I can't even imagine what they're thinking. That could they just come out and do this week after week? A big play for McDonald.
Did you see him blow up? He just said, "No, I don't care about this right tackle. I don't care about this fullback chipping me. I'm getting to the backfield," and he gets there and makes that. I love Will McDonald.
I'm telling you, he's going to be a special player, but he's always going to have the fans a little bit on edge against them because, they don't agree with the pick because of the position. But I say if McDonald's ends up being a star, you can never argue when he was picked because the edge is one of those positions where you never complain. Anytime you bring in a quality edge, you take it. Because, I mean, how many years did we go without an edge?
Now we've got multiple of them.
Yeah. That's Huff creating some pressure, but not on time. And Waddle gets a pass up the middle. They cross midfield, and Miami is on the move. There's a flag. I'm not sure who it's going to be against. I'm expecting it to be defensive holding. It was the thing where he holds his hips. What is that? Declined? Okay.
Offside. They declined. It was an offside on Quinn Williams.
Offside. The thing where he holds his hips. This is painful. It's painful, but it's only 3-0. If we can hold them to a field goal here, it's still literally just 6-0. Look, as bad as the game gets, we got each other. We're here. We're hanging out. We'll find a way to keep ourselves entertained together as a fan base. Tua is on the run, and it's an incomplete pass call. Nice play design, but Tyreek Hill couldn't execute. I keep calling Tua Tigo.
I'm not a left-handed quarterback, man.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm not doing it on purpose. I like seeing Will McDonald.
The same thing. Instead of saying Green Bay, I said Green Bean all offseason when talking about the Aaron Rodgers trade.
That's why I kept doing that too. Every time I see GB, it was confusing. Run up the middle for about 5 or 6 yards. They just blasted right up the hole. I think it's third down, right?
Yep, 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5, okay. We got 3rd and 5. I think they're about the 45-yard line or 30-yard line. I thought they had crossed midfield, but they might not have. Let's see. This is where we have to get off the field, folks. Right here's the play. They're at the 39-yard line. To his back. He's looking. He throws a beautiful pass to Wilson Jr. for the first down.
Hard to stop play. Took advantage of the man coverage, and Quincy just got behind the running back and couldn't recover.
I gotta say though, when you look at that play, I can't wait. During the week, I want to look at that play from McDonald, that explosive play. You were calling it out, how explosive he was. I need to look at that on film because
you got to watch it back. He blows up the tackle.
Looked incredible.
This is the difference. And a lot of people are like, oh, why would we just draft a third down pass rusher in the first round when we already have Huff? And this is the mistake that people were making about Will McDonald. That's not what he is. Dude, he single-handedly blew up that run play because he just annihilates the tackle, gets into the backfield, trips, and still gets up and can make that play.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's a big part of our future. He's going to be a staple on the defensive line for a long time.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun because next year you're going to see JJ starting to take a bigger role. He's already gotten a bigger role, but I think you got to start at least thinking about reducing JFM's role and starting to run, JJ
and the line of scrimmage, double reverse. The Jets play it well.
Yeah,
they play it well. Force a third down, 3rd and 5.
Yeah, gain of a yard, 3rd and 6. And again, we have an opportunity to hold them to 3. We got to get off the field on 3rd down.
They must be like 6 of 7 on 3rd down conversions today. Something like that. So we've got to step up right now. We can't have another game where we can't get off the field on 3rd down, especially when you have no offense. When you have no offense and you're already on the field too much, you got to figure it out on 3rd down. Got to figure out a way to confuse Miami. I don't know if you send somebody to the blitz, whatever it is, you got to figure something out here to throw them off balance.
Yeah.
Looks like a timeout, possibly.
Yes, timeout. Miami using another timeout in a situation where they don't necessarily need to. Again, this defense creating trouble for Miami and McDaniel and all of that stuff. It's a hard situation. It's hard to face our defense, especially with a team like Miami. We are supposed to kind of be their kryptonite. And how many Miami games do we see them getting close to the middle of the second quarter and they only have 3 points? It's one of those things where while it's been nothing but the Miami show, let's remember they still only have 3 points.
Yeah. James Thompson staying positive, says the Jets defense ever going to score for us, a pick or a fumble? Was he asking? I don't know. I hope they do. It's hard for a defense to cause that kind of play when you don't have a lead.
Yeah,
because when you're ahead, the opposing team has to call riskier plays. Somebody got knocked down, passes up in the air. Oh, that was really disappointing. Tyreek Hill, Waddle to Waddle. Big play to Waddle. They're at like the 8-yard line, unfortunately. A Jets defender dived for the ball, just missed it. I don't know how that ball got through, but it did.
Yeah.
Deadly play. That's a bone-crushing play.
It's another one of those plays where it's just like, man, you hope that they get that stop there. And it seemed like we had the right play design. It seemed like we had the right coverage call. And Tua with another one of those, just accurate with the ball, gets it in a place where only his guy can get it, and Waddle makes a play on it.
Nice stop on 1st down for like 1 or 2 yards from Miami. I think it's like they're at the 6 or the 7-yard line, 2nd down. 2nd and goal. They already got 3 points wrapped up pretty much. We'll see if we can hold them to that and stop them from getting into the end zone. Would you say a touchdown here is insurmountable the way our offense is playing?
Probably.
That's how it feels. That's how it feels.
Felt like 3 points was insurmountable.
Okay, Tua throws to the side. Oh, it's an easy touchdown. Tyreek Hill walks it in. Little flat pass to Tyreek Hill, touchdown. Jets are down 9-0 with the extra point coming.
And it's one of those things where it's just like we can't have a consistent game. We go out there and Jordan Whitehead with 2 really, really big hits and 2 really, really big good tackles. And then what is that whiff on Tyreek Hill? Like, you have an opportunity to stop it and you just throw an arm at him. Like, it's just disappointing.
As you were saying, it's just hard to watch. I mean, as everybody's saying, we're all feeling it. We're all in the same place. It's worse. It's more than just being a bad team. It's the way we're bad.
Yeah.
You could be a bad team with a bad record, but you score touchdowns. right? And you score points. This is hard. This is difficult. It's difficult to watch every week. It's difficult to watch a game where the funnest part of the game, where you're supposed to feel the best when your team has the ball, and you almost know the result before it happens. And it's just really difficult. You hope that some kind of play turns the momentum of this game around. But at 10-0, I'm not going to lie, it feels like we're down 4-0 in hockey.
Yeah. It's just with this offense, you have to be like, it's one of those things like with this offense, how do you expect, like, we just don't have the ability to go out there and score, man. And you're not going to win games if you can't score. It doesn't matter. Like, again, Miami only has 10 points. The Jets theoretically are still in this game, but does anybody have faith that this team is going to go out there and score a touchdown?
Yeah, and this is when I start to question the personnel too. Like when we see the Jets playing like this, and we see Hall not even getting a yard and fumbling and everything, when do you put in that spark? When do you let Israel play? When do you see what you have in these guys? When it can't get any worse. It can't be worse. Like, at what point does that become the thing? It can't be worse. Maybe you do anything to create a spark. You got a kid who showed some explosiveness. And, like, why not give this kid the ball a few times? Why not do a play to him? They don't know him. I don't know. Take a shot.
Because the offensive line. One of the things, I loved Israel Abanikanda. He was one of my draft darlings last year. I think I took him in the 4th round in every mock that I did. The problem is that Izzy is explosive. Truly, truly explosive. But he needs the offensive line to create that gap for him, where Brees doesn't. Brees can make a play on his own. He hasn't recently, but he can. Where I think Izzy needs the offensive line to do something for him. And with this offensive line, it's hard to see that happening.
Yeah. I mean, we really knew this was coming. Like, you can't, I mean, we knew before the game. We said you can't just keep giving Miami the top. You can't just keep giving them the ball back.
Nope.
I mean, you just can't do it. You have to have long drives. You have to keep them off the field. They've been on the field this entire game.
Yep.
It's an impossible scenario. And the question is, how frustrated is the defense getting? Like, how, like is the locker room broken right now already? And they're just covering it up. I don't even know if they're covering it up well. They look frustrated.
Of course they are. Because, again, how are you not?
We got the Jets with the ball right now. Brees Hall's running. He stiff arms. He breaks them free and gets a first down. So
this is why you give the ball to Brees. Because, Izzy's faster, but Brees' innate ability and knowledge to see that bounce outside and then beat the guy to the corner and gets upfield and turns it into, a first, what could have been with any other running back, a gain of 5, he turns into a gain of 11, and we get a first down, and we keep on chugging,
Mm-hmm. In shotgun, Boyle jumps up. It gets tipped, almost intercepted. Lucky it didn't. I mean,
another situation. This is why Tittman didn't start struggling with these shotgun passes, man.
Unbelievable. So they get the first down. This good run to Brees Hall. Maybe they have something going. Bad snap. Then the ball gets tipped up. We're lucky it wasn't intercepted. The game was almost over right there.
Yeah. Again, it wouldn't have amounted to much in terms of the play. The defense ran in there and had that covered up, but what if we get that ball? Again, it's these little things where it's just like you're starting to see that trickle effect of, Connor McGovern doesn't snap that high because he's more familiar with the shotgun. Tittman would be at right guard. all of these things. And I love Tittman, don't get me wrong. But we knew that this was going to be a problem with Tittman when we drafted him. He played a majority of his snaps under center at Wisconsin. He does not have a lot of familiarity with the shotgun.
Meanwhile, we had a good second down play. So we got 3rd and 3 right now. So there was a nice little pass to Breece Hall to get us to 3rd and 3. Let's see if we can execute on 3rd down. We have Boyle in shotgun. And I think he's alone back there. No, he's got Breece Hall with him. Drops back. Breece Hall staying into block. He's under trouble. He's sacked.
Again, Christian Wilkins versus Xavier Newman is going to be a mismatch all game. And he is probably, I guess Chubb might be considered their best defensive lineman, but I think Wilkins is probably their best defensive lineman. And to put him on the guy who was working at Starbucks 2-3 weeks ago, one-on-one is just, how do you not slide protection to wherever Newman is every single time?
Yeah. Here's the punt. Berrios back to his own 10. He's running, gets some space, brings it out about 8 yards to the 18-yard line. Miami ball on the 18-yard line, normally a good situation for our defense, but our defense is exhausted, and Miami is they got all the momentum.
We do have a clock situation here, right? We're reaching and getting towards the end of the second, but I don't know how much that's going to help. We're going to have to start seeing some pressure. We're going to have to start seeing some sacks, some quarterback hits. Right now, the defensive line is being controlled a little bit too easily. We need to go out there. We need to get a quarterback hit. We need to do something to get our guys, moving. We have 0 quarterback hits. We have 0 quarterback pressures. Like if Tua has all the time in the world, these guys will eventually get open. They are that fast.
So Rob is already talking about tanking. Kevin's already ready to clean house. I mean, the state of the fan base is obviously not good, and it's hard to really argue it. When we lose one game a few weeks ago, then it's like, hey, relax. But it gets very same old. When it starts to be every week, it gets harder and harder to stay optimistic. It gets harder to say, calm down, you're wrong. Because at the end of the day, I'll say it again, it's not just our record. It's that this offense, this team feels the same as it did in 2017, the same as it did in 2018. Everything that we were excited about is kind of gone right now. Like all of that energy. They are just, it's unbelievable. It's totally different coaching. Everything is different except the owner, from 2017, for example. Yet the feeling is exactly the same. And it's hard to understand, what is it? What is it about this organization? I understand we had bad luck with injuries. I understand the offensive line.
That's it. It's bad luck with injuries. Because if Rodgers is healthy, if the offensive line is healthy, it's a completely different narrative. But nope, Rodgers sits down after 4 plays. Dwayne Brown never looked healthy, never looked good. Becton hurt again. AVT hurt again. Connor McGovern, Wes Schweitzer,
yeah. And then you'll have people will talk. Don't worry about the Zach people. This is not about Zach Wilson. Obviously we knew we have serious problems. I think at this point we need to be thinking, are we looking at a potential quarterback replacement and bringing in Trevor?
It's going to be more of the same. Trevor's not a better quarterback than Tim.
Yeah. We'll see. How long of a leash do you think Tim Boyle has?
The game's theoretically not out of hand. And knowing this coaching staff, I don't think they're going to it's just, I don't like it. I don't like that that's the answer, but it's just,
Another pass. Bullet to Waddle. 30-yard line. So they begin their drive. Do you think this would be happening to our defense no matter what, because Miami's offense is really good? Or do you think right now we are looking at a defense that's depleted, physically exhausted, but also mentally exhausted?
I think you're looking at a team specifically on defense that is emotionally at its wit's end. Not physically, but I think emotionally and mentally they're at their wit's end, because I think they felt the same thing when they gave up the 3 points as every fan did. Oh, 3 points, that's it. Game's over.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that they've quit, because no player is going to quit. A lot of these guys are on contracts. On contract years, a lot of the defense has 1-year deals. They need to go out there and get another contract, but it's hard to see the passion as we saw in the earlier weeks.
Yeah. So Jetspack comes in. Thank you for the super chat, Jetpack. We appreciate that. Game over, boys. We suck bums, which is basically we suck ass. Again, hard to argue. Good sack. Clemens got there
Great
first.
by Clemens and Solomon Thomas. Half a sack each.
Great play there. Got there, got a sack. Good play. Hard to, I mean, look, here we are. This would be something where in a normal situation, we're cheering, we're feeling great about it. And yet we're in a situation where we watch this big play and it's like, okay, but there's no belief that it means anything.
I see that's where I look at it and I go a little bit differently. That's a big play. That's a huge play. And we're probably going to capitalize. And I don't know if Miami converts out of 3rd and 15. And that's awesome. And we get the ball back. That's great. But it doesn't mean, like, all this means for me is, hey, they don't get to put more points on the board. But doesn't mean we're going to put up points. We haven't yet. What makes me believe we're going to do it now?
Right. We do stop them on 3rd down. They do, and they are going to have to punt.
Yep.
So, I mean, in any situation, it's like we're getting the ball. We're down 10-0. Any kind of score pulls us within a score. I mean, theoretically, you could talk about game situation and everything is okay, except this offense. You know how bad it is. And you look to the coaches to do something. Something. Like, why not just a bomb? Throw the ball 40 yards downfield to Garrett Wilson and hope for a pass interference. Something.
Well, because of Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, and like, you have to respect the guys on the other side of the field.
We almost lost the ball. I think that Gibson almost just made another huge blunder, possibly. I'm trying to figure out what happened here. Did you see it?
Yeah, Charles was going a little bit too hard and hit the kicker. And so
they got a first down?
No. It's a 5-yard penalty. It would still have been 4th down, so they end up declining the penalty, and the Jets get the ball.
Okay.
Now, if it was like 4th and 3rd, that would have been a first down.
Right. We're lucky they called the 5-yard one. Oh, that would have been costly, huh? I think a lot of people would have shut their TVs off.
Yeah.
If we would have just kept them on the field. That would have been the end. It feels like we make everything difficult. It would be nice if we could focus on, is Warren playing well? Like, these are things that are hard to pay attention to because it's so ugly. You can't even see if anything is happening right.
Yeah, I haven't been watching Warren. I should be watching Warren more because it's so hard to not, it's just so hard to, like, I'm going to obviously have to watch this game back, see what's going on with Warren, how well he's playing, but it's just another false start, man.
Another false start. I mean, at some point, there has to be some kind of, I mean, how safe is Hackett? Is he just untouchable? This is embarrassing.
I'm sorry, but how can you blame Hackett? He was given Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle and 14 different offensive linemen throughout the year. Like,
oh, here we go. Brownlee with a great play. Gets about 13 yards, 12 yards, and makes
it'll be second
and
short. It's a good play.
Oh, second, that's right. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Hackett's not in a good situation in that sense. You would just think there's a way to get professionals to not be so, I don't know, just so, it's such a mess. Look at this idiot flapping like he's a bird. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. The way they celebrate, it's just idiotic.
Yeah. Again, it's just one of those situations. It's one of those things where, like, it's so hard to, like, it's hard to see what's going to happen. Like, it's not that hard to see that we're just going to run this back next year with Rodgers. And it's like, it's so easy to see how much better this could be with Rodgers, you know?
But he's going to need a better offensive line than this as far as the injuries. I mean,
he's going to need a better offensive line. He's going to need a better wide receiver room. He's going to need less mistakes. But I think a big thing is that Rodgers can hold those guys accountable. Rodgers can run an NFL playbook. And the problem is that we can't run an NFL playbook with the quarterbacks that we have. Tim Boyle knows the playbook, and we're starting to see Hackett open it up more. And we're starting to see more creativity and route designs and different things that are happening. But that being said, it's still, dude, it's Tim Boyle. I don't know what people expected. Tim Boyle was going to be better than Zach. He's not. He's just smarter than Zach. That's it. He's not better than Zach at anything.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, when they brought Boyle into camp, I didn't know that. I thought he was just there because he knows the system, almost like a coach. You know, another guy in the room.
That's what he's supposed to be.
Camp with us. The fact that we went into the season with him as our number 3 quarterback, and they were serious about it. It never made sense to me. And then for Rodgers to get hurt, Zach comes in, and you don't get somebody immediately, and they didn't. The next day they should have had, you know, people don't, you know, anything better than they waited 2 weeks, and then they brought Simeon in, and that wasn't much of an effort to actually save the season when you're bringing in Trevor Simeon to be your backup.
It was one of those things where I was never like Simeon was supposed to be another quarterback's coach in the quarterback's room. That's it. That's what he was supposed to be. He's so smart and intelligent, and that's what he was supposed to be. Like, Aaron Rodgers has missed significant time twice in his entire career. No one expected him to be injured. He played with a broken thumb all of last year. Like,
oh, here we go. We didn't get the first. What play was that? Was that just a running play?
Yeah, it was just hand it to Cook, run it up the middle for a yard.
So what down is it? Third.
3rd and 1.
Okay. I got nervous. I forgot that it was only 2nd down. I was like, why? I was about to lose my shit. I was about to lose it in a very bad way. Here we go. It's about 3rd down, and I'd say a yard and a half. Not even. But it's a long yard. Quick little pass to Breece Hall. Gets tackled before the 1st down. Wow. Wow. This offense is bad. This is really bad.
Yeah, and just throws the check down. Doesn't try to make a play. Doesn't. It's hard, man. It's just.
This is hard. What's the point of having?
We just don't have NFL quarterbacks on the roster right now, and.
What was the point?
It's hard to amount to things.
If you're gonna bring him in and do this, what was the point of benching Zach? I think when people said go to another quarterback, I think they meant a quarterback that you'd actually try to play football. That this is not football. Simply isn't football. It's a joke.
Yeah, man, it's hard with this offense. to go and get things done and to go and
we have a super chat from JW. Screw these fair weather fans and truthers. It's like they want us to lose and prove some silly point. Root for your team.
Absolutely.
I agree. We're rooting. It's hard to watch, though. I gotta say, Jay, it's really tough to watch, but we're rooting for him. Want him to do well. Just really hard to watch having 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, and not being able to get a first down. It's not easy to watch that. Miami's defense, it's not like we're playing against the 85 Bears defense here. So it's painful. It's hard to watch. I mean, these 10 points may as well be 40 points.
My kid just turned off my computer. I'll be back.
Okay. It may as well be a 40-point lead right now, the way it feels. It just doesn't feel like we can score. But you're right. We need to root. We need to stop fighting and arguing about things and just root for them. Root for them. Cheer for them. Want them to win. I would like to somehow get in this game. I don't have to mentally decide if I want a team to tank or anything like that. My stomach and my gut tells me. Anyway, we are okay. Looks like I got 2 versions of you, so let me remove that one. Bring that one in. How's that? Okay. Hennessy comes in. Thank you for the super chat and says, "So is Hackett going to keep running it on first down?" I don't know. It feels like there's no point in not running it on first down because nothing's working. So,
but he hasn't been just running it on first. It's been he had a play action on first. He took a pass on a first. It's just not working. That's the difference.
Yeah. So Kevin is just saying not one fan wants the team to lose. We just know they will. Well, it's getting harder to believe. I thought the only hope we had was we were going to just be throwing short passes and completing them and making things happen. It's not happening that way. It's hard to see what we're going to do differently. I don't know, man. To me, it's just throw the ball down the field. I mean, what does it hurt at this point? Just throw the freaking ball.
Because then the defense gets back on the field more quickly. They're not going to do it because Ramsey is going to follow Wilson, and so is Javon Holland, and that's probably the best wide receiver. That's probably the best cornerback and safety duo in the NFL right now. And at least with the short passes, you keep Ramsey and Holland out of the game, but you also keep there's no right answer here. Wide receivers can't get open. We don't have a quarterback that can operate in NFL defense, and we don't have an offensive line that's going to do anything. So if our defense doesn't score points, I don't know how we're going to get into this game.
What if we switch to a wishbone? What?
I just spoke it into existence.
Okay, wait a second. Let me shut up. Let me see this. I haven't seen anything yet.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't hold it.
Okay. Tua throws the ball. Interception! Is that Eccles?
It's Eccles.
It's Eccles. That's why he's got to play more, man. Eccles is enough with him not being in the freaking guy on the field.
Oh, man.
Touchdown,
Eccles.
New York Jets. Touchdown. And let's see if I can find it. I don't know where it is. Why doesn't he have it labeled better? GreenBean. GreenBean, how come you don't have it labeled better?
I cannot believe I manifested that one, guys. I am taking credit for that touchdown.
That was amazing. You just said it.
As it was coming out of my mouth, the play got snapped. And who was that ball thrown to? If not,
God, he missed the extra point?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, give me a break. That's when he chooses to mix. Oh, God.
God, I love Eccles.
Unbelievable. That's the second time we scored a touchdown in like 8 weeks, and both times we couldn't get the extra point.
Because he's not practicing extra point. He's practicing taking 50-yard field goals.
It's so ridiculous. Okay. But that's a big difference. That hurts us. That's a huge difference in the score.
It goes from a 3-point game now to now you need a touchdown to be back into it. But Jason, you best believe I'm going back and I'm clipping my manifestation of a pick six. That's going in my intro next year.
That was pretty incredible. I can't believe it's not labeled right. I can't do a touchdown celebration because GreenBean doesn't have it labeled right. Like, shouldn't it be the most obvious thing? Like touchdown celebration.
Well, he does a lot of different things, right? So he only uses it for one stream, and he has like 4 of them a week.
Yeah.
Tua keeping us in the game. Appreciate Tua. Thank you.
Okay.
You think Braxton Berrios came up to Eccles and be like, yo, ball's coming to me, jump the route?
Berrios is like a spy. So oh man. That was crazy. This
is good, but this is a good thing. The defense is back. Got it. We're back in this game. You give the motivation. They're back on the field. There's a spark now. And now we have to capitalize on this and like disinfo. Exactly. One more. We need one more. Just give us one more. And if we get one more, imagine us playing with the lead. You know, just get out of the half. Don't give up points anymore. And we've got the spark that we've needed. Like, everybody should be juiced after that. Yeah, GreenBean.
There we go. GreenBean at the game. That must have felt good. It's amazing that the defense has found a way to keep this a 4-point game. 100%. It's like we're 2 different football teams. We got this very competent football team with our defense, and then we have this disastrous offense. But we're back in the game, and maybe we got Miami thinking. Maybe we're in their head a little bit.
Again, it's a pick six is a big play. It's not just an interception, right? It's an interception that led to points, and now that offense needs to go back out there and face that defense again after making that mistake. It's a big momentum swing, and a lot of people out there, oh, the momentum's dead after the missed field goal. No one cares about the missed field goal. That's a completely different, like, that's not going to kill the momentum. The defense didn't miss the field goal. The defense got the pick six. So you keep that juice alive. They don't have any timeouts. We need to remember that. They used up all of their timeouts. So leave this half with no points scored. No more points. Go into the half 10-6.
Kay Thomas says the right side is getting killed. Thank you for the super chat. And you are correct. The right side of our offensive line is definitely getting manhandled. It's a first down to Tyreek Hill. So unfortunately, they're moving the ball a little bit now. And unfortunately, we have to ask our defense yet again to come up with a stop or something to keep us in this football game. Tua back, throws a pass right up the middle to Waddle for a first down for a 10-yard gain. And they are walking down the field now. They're at the 36-yard line, their own. There is only 13 seconds left, so there's
Absolutely.
that.
And again, they've got a lot of field to go up. So again, just keep no points.
It would be nice to force a mistake here. Like, imagine them doing something stupid, or we sack and strip the ball, and wouldn't that be great to go into the half and in the lead? Would that be the oddest thing?
I don't know about a lead. Again, I was a little bit being hyperbolic and just excited. We got a pick six. That's awesome. But again, just don't give up points. Go into the half 10-6. Ride that high of getting a pick six and then stopping them again. And now you got a situation where your defense can go back out there and do some good things.
Yeah. Well, they're getting closer and closer to scoring position as time, but they are running out of time. So we need to stop here. We can't just give them something free up the middle right now. We have to play it straight up and stop them from gaining yards.
Yep.
If we're going to go prevent safe defense or something, it's not going to work out for us. We're going to give them a free 3 points.
I think you put 2 guys on everybody. Everybody who's going for a pass, you put 2 guys on him and then 1 guy on Tua. Make their lives hell. It's 8 seconds. So they're going to need to throw outside because if they throw anything up the middle, there's not enough time for them to come back and spike the ball. So
is it just me, or is that the second time that Eccles has gotten a pick six against Tua?
He only has 1 pick six from what I understand, and I think it was against Tom Brady from my remembering.
Oh, but I thought he got one against Tua 2 years ago.
I think he only has 1 other one. Yes. There you go. Go into the half. No points. There we go. Dude, I'm telling you, you ride this high. This is momentum. This defense starting to create turnovers.
Wow.
DJ Reed just goes out there and says, nope, mine. Thank you.
Yeah. Big play, big turnover. We got Tua questioning himself. We got some momentum going into the half. There's momentum now. That's what this is. This is momentum. Guys, don't go anywhere. We got Matt O'Leary, and Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7, the pilot himself, coming on to the channel. Hopefully we'll get a visit from GreenBean. We got 200 people in here. Let's not go below that. Stay tuned. Let's get some more people in here so we can welcome in Ryan, Matt, and potentially GreenBean, and to hear their thoughts on what's going on in this football game. Any chance we do anything here right now?
No. There's going to be a Hail Mary, and we got to just hope that.
Okay. And if something does happen that's good, keep your mouth shut. Okay. We are going to Hail Mary it. Boyle steps up. He throws it deep. It's deep. It's up for anybody. Interception. Don't tell me we're going to let him score. Somebody tackle him. Somebody tackle him. Oh, my God. No one's going to tackle him. Look at these losers. Look what losers they are. They're such losers. They just let him go all the way for a touchdown. What a bunch of losers. None of them had any heart or ability to make a tackle there or even get a hold of him. Wow. Pathetic. That was
Why would we even run that play? Just take the knee and go into the half.
What a pathetic football play. Pathetic effort on this team. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Represents every loss we've ever had. Every joke, everybody that's ever laughed at us. This is who the Jets have been for the last 12 years. All in this one play. There were 5 Dolphins there, 1 Jet. Holland catches the ball in the end zone, runs 100 yards. 100 yards. Their defense ran that back better than our offense ever was. Their defense just played offense better than we can play offense. That was an absolute disgrace.
It was a great pass by Tim Boyle if he was aiming for Javon Holland. It was a fantastic pass if that's what he was going for.
Unbelievable.
Just
unbelievable. Unbelievably embarrassing. Just pathetic. There's no way to say it. Unbelievable. I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. You know what I just realized? I don't know if they have the link. It's hard to get
I'm gonna go use the bathroom. It's just you get 2 picks in a quarter and you bring the game back, and that's what your offense does. It's just, what are you supposed to do, man?
It's rough. It's rough. We are going to try to get GreenBean and them on. Let me see if we can get what we need here. Look, I try to stay positive the whole game, but that was absolutely one of the most humiliating moments I think you could experience as a Jet fan. Like, that's just takes everything. It takes the life right out of you if you're a Jets fan. How are we supposed to process that? Like, what are we supposed to say? How are we supposed to clap and be positive after that as a fan base? The effort that went in after that interception was absolutely one of the most horrendous things. That was like a Bad News Bears episode. I don't know why people are saying about bringing up Zach Wilson's name. It's stupid. That had nothing to do. This half has had nothing to do with Zach Wilson. We look exactly the same as we do when we have Zach Wilson. So what does that mean? That means that Zach Wilson is at least as good as Tim Boyle. That's the place you want to. I mean, yeah, you want to hold on to that. You want to celebrate that. You could celebrate that. Yeah, Zach Wilson's as good as Tim Boyle. What does it matter? What does it matter? Aaron Rodgers is going to be our quarterback next year. That's a fact. And Zach Wilson is going to be gone after that. So what are we talking about here? What do we care? Let's at least be upset together that our team just made an embarrassing play. Can we do that? Now, going into halftime, as promised, please welcome Matt O'Leary. Now, what is there to say, Matt? What is there to say?
I don't know. We got what we asked for, apparently, because we criticized Zach Wilson. I don't know. That was what a half. Jesus, man.
Yeah.
6 from Boyle makes it pretty much. I mean, you're not catching him now.
We're back at where we started, right?
Yep.
Wow.
We were down 10. Now we're down 11.
I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say after that. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before.
It just seems so typical for the Jets. It just seems so typical. Like 2 seconds left, you throw a Hail Mary into the end zone, and they always say if you're going to do that, the one thing you got to make sure is don't let them bring it back for a touchdown.
I'm watching the replay now of it on my second screen. I just don't know how nobody is like remotely close to him. And then it's Boyle trying to make the last tackle to 15-yard. How about credit to Garrett Wilson for going all the way back? He almost has a play on like the 2-yard line.
My thing is look at the placement of the throw. Dude, that's not even near the green jerseys. Like,
yeah.
It's a sad day.
Yeah, I mean, so Junior Rudy says first the fake spike, now the Hail Mary 6. I mean, is that play going to be marked down? Is that going to be something that we play 6 years from now? Do you think that's going to join the butt fumble and some of the other classic moments of being a Jet fan? Or do you think that it's going to just be irrelevant in a historically bad offense?
I don't even know. I don't know what to say. I'm still stunned, Jeremy. I'm still stunned.
I believe me. I have. It's hard to find the words for that. Maybe GreenBean gives some perspective on the game. How you doing, GreenBean? That sucked. That last play.
Hold on. How stupid was that shit? Fuck. I mean, we figure out a new way to be ridiculous every single week, man.
Yeah. Never ends.
Have you ever seen 2 pick sixes in the last minute before?
Certainly
wow. Not. Real quick, sorry, Tom Grossi with a raid. The Grossi posse invading the stream. Welcome, Grossi posse.
We have a Black Friday raid from the. We have a Black Friday raid from the great Tom Grossi.
Oh, there you go.
So the Grossi posse is here. Thank you. Wow. I was wondering what happened and why we went up so much suddenly. Really, Matt, did you expect anything with the 32nd ranked offensive line?
I didn't expect it to be this bad. I mean, the offensive line can only be an excuse so far. I mean, we forgot 2 years ago Joe Burrow was in a Super Bowl with a horrific offensive line, or the Mahomes offensive line when they lost to the Bucs. Like, I don't know. It's not the offensive line can't be the only cop out here. We can't just forfeit every game to the line's bad play.
Yeah, I agree. We got to blame more than the offensive line on that. And I don't. It's going to be interesting to hear what everybody says about that play. We had about 5 minutes of actually believing that we had a chance to get back in this game, and it literally lasted 5 minutes. And we went right back to feeling just helpless again.
What's up, dude? How you doing, man?
Just the guy comes in, he says, "Mr. Beans, can we get a stop the pain chant?"
Please
Yeah.
stop the
Hold
pain.
on 1 second. Yeah. I'm just checking in.
Let me mute him.
I don't know.
He's gonna kill me.
Oh, there we go.
I muted him. Oh no! Wait! I got.
Oh, there he is. Look at that.
Who's that?
Just a fan called GreenBean wanted a selfie.
Just a GreenBean fan getting a selfie.
Just a beanbagger out there in the real world.
So GreenBean, what is the mood? What is the mood in MetLife right now?
Well, unlike a lot of games I've been to, we actually have a few moments of like, all right, okay. Like that doesn't even it didn't happen in the Chargers game. It didn't happen very much at all in the Baltimore game last year. It didn't happen in that fucking game that me and Matt were at, Zach's first home opener. That we had no hope. I mean, after the player announcements, that shit was over. You know what I mean? So at least today, it's like, all right, okay. Like you said, we had 5 minutes of hope. So, I don't know, man. It's surprisingly positive here. But Tim Boyle, this is the thing. I see the chat. Everybody's like, oh, you guys hated Zach and blah, blah, blah. Dude, we went from Zach to fucking Tim Boyle. Can we just rein it in a little bit? Like, this is not an indicator that Zach Wilson is somehow good. It doesn't mean anything. Right, man? See, he agrees with me. But it's just like, I would like to see like a balls to the wall, like, fuck it. That's what I want to see. Fuck it. Offense. They call it the fucking offense. Throw it downfield. Just caution to the wind, dude. That's what we should be doing. What is this, fucking 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage bullshit? Like, why are we doing this? But that all aside, your question was about the mood. The mood is surprisingly upbeat. Dude, I think we're just beaten down. It's like anything positive that happens is fucking gravy. That's kind of how it is here. It was like, all right, not bad. It would have been real nice to go into the half 10-7, though, or even 10-6, because, we can't seem to fucking finish off a touchdown these last couple of weeks. But I don't know, man. I just wanted to check in. I know it's hard to hear, I'm sure, and it's hard to hear you guys, but I wanted to say I love you guys. It's nice to see Matt on the stream. And let's just fucking win this thing, huh? Like, why not? Let's go out there and win this.
GreenBean, they want you to start a stop the pain chant. Can you start a stop the pain chant?
I can start it. I don't know if anybody's fucking joining in. I'm having a hard enough time getting this going. Yeah. I'm doing it. I got one guy in front of me. He does it with me every time. He knows. He picked up on it like the second time I did it. He's like, all right, I'm with you. That's nice. But, yeah, I'll try. Stop the pain. I don't know. That's a little complex for this audience.
Yeah. We got.
All right, listen, you guys go ahead. I love you guys. Listen, I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of the stream, and I'll check in. I'll be in the chat sporadically, but I'll talk to you guys soon.
You enjoy the game, GreenBean.
Wow. I'm glad that we got him from the stadium perspective, but I still don't have anything.
Yeah, I'm you know me and Tigo too. I think with the three of us are not people that are often lost for words, but to have 2 seconds left, we make the stop, we get the interception. We're thinking we're going to go into the half and have a lot to talk about. We're only down 10-6. Maybe there's actually a chance. And to watch that play, that is as deflated, I think, as I felt since Aaron Rodgers went down.
It's hard to wrap your head around that decision making. Like, it's hard to why throw the Hail Mary at all? Just take the knee. Go into the half. Just go into the half, down 4 points, riding the momentum high of 2 interceptions. But a beautiful play by Eccles is just immediately canceled out.
This is crazy how much space he had on the return.
Yeah. And Tara, the Lions fan, rooting for you. Well, thank you, Patty. I don't know if any of the Jets coaches would have said or stated or thought that Boyle is better than Zach. I don't think that the benching of Zach Wilson was necessarily them saying Boyle's better. I think there's more that goes into a team being benched or a player being benched. But I certainly never would have thought or believed or ever would have been heard saying that Boyle was better than Zach. I thought maybe it could light a fire under this offense. Maybe it would make things a little bit better. But I guess when you have a decimated offensive line with horrendous, just crazy beat up offensive line with just nothing left in it. I mean, I guess it's just too much to ask.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I have a really bad guess at halftime. Usually I have.
I know that. What do you think though? Is there anything in the years you've watched football, knowing the state of our offensive line and the quality that we have, any available quarterback we have on the team, whether it's Zach, Boyle, is there anything, a strategy, what would you do if you were an OC?
My biggest criticism of Hackett was right now is the 2nd and 10 runs. To me, that is just you're giving up at that point. 2nd and 10 up the middle. Yeah, working a trick play, have Breece Hall take a pitch and throw it. I don't know, do something, a jet sweep to Xavier Gibson, something.
Okay. Something different.
Yeah.
Sweeps. Okay. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, it's just so ugly. Dolphins obviously have the ball right now. I think it's 2nd down and like 7. And I guess we have to hope for a turnover. We have to hope for a miracle. It's not really much more to say than this.
Nope.
It'll be interesting we'll see if Boyle makes it through the whole game. Do you think he's going to, or do you think they might make a quarterback switch?
I think he makes it through the game as a sacrificial lamb. I don't think the numbers are going to be pretty at all, but yeah, my guess is unless this gets crazy out of hand, I think they're just going to ride it with Boyle.
Okay. So a nice tackle there from, I believe, who was it? Tigo made that nice little tackle.
Ashton Davis, I believe.
Ashton Davis, yeah. So I thought
He's been good.
Yeah. No, he's been very good. It's like almost like I want to see more Ashton Davis and Eccles on the field.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean they seem to be, they're very appreciative to be on the field. So you can tell they're playing hard and with a lot of energy. It's 3rd down and 3 right now. Let's see what happens. Tua throws it deep. Oh, you just saw that coming. It just went right into Waddle's hands. So wow. That just hurts. It stings.
Yeah.
Flag. Tigo, do we know who it's against or what it is?
Brandon Eccles, illegal hands to the face.
Great. So I'm sure that's going to be declined.
Yep, declined. Big play.
No.
Well,
this is where it starts, guys.
Try to enjoy the second half. I'm going to go back to drinking for a little bit.
All right, Matt. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry it's under such gloom circumstances.
Oh boy. All right. Enjoy, guys.
Have a good one, Matt.
Anyway. So here we are, guys. I almost feel like playing some music. This is the end. My only friend. They are now at the 32-yard line, and it's going to be 2nd down and 6. As Wilson takes over the running back duties, it seems, although he's coming off the field now. He has 8 rushes for 40 yards today. Taking advantage of being a fast, quick, explosive player, taking advantage of a very tired defense. This is about as tired as you're going to see a defense be. I mean, they've been playing the entire game on the field. It's almost like a one-way game. Looks like a nice play from Clemens and who was that? Swift? Do we have a guy named Swift? Taylor Swift is now at New York Jets. She bulked up a little bit. She's I feel like Bob Uecker. That's what it is. I feel like Bob Uecker from one of those teams where he's like the announcer in a movie for like the Cleveland Indians, and they're just awful.
Yep.
Yeah, so just a bit outside.
Great sack by Huff here.
Okay, let's check it out. Oh wow, yeah, really nice. Wow, we really came. Did JJ and Huff come from the same side?
No.
Okay.
Huff got taken around Tua and then cut back in, and then JJ was getting there at the same time. So Huff tackled Tua and JJ tackled Huff.
Got it. Yeah, that's true. He spun around. He did like a spin around that made it look like they're. I was like, wait a second, how are they both on the same side? All right, so what we got? A field goal attempt coming.
Yep.
Already 17-6.
If he makes it, it should put them up 20-6. Again, now it's a 2-score game, and the Jets haven't been able to manufacture an offense yet.
Yeah. Well, we're down by 14 points, and have we gotten 2 first downs in one drive?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, the fact
once
that
I think that last drive, I guess the last drive would be the Hail Mary as it's been dubbed on Twitter, but I think the one before that, I think we had I think it was 2 back-to-back firsts and then a 3-and-out.
Knobcraft wants to fire Salah. What is your opinion of that?
I don't think you fire anybody. Salah's a defensive-minded head coach, and he's got this defense playing out of its mind. And the reality is that when you lose Aaron Rodgers in 4 plays, everyone kind of gets a pass. I still think that while I don't want this to happen, I still think that if a head is going to roll, if anyone is getting fired, I think it's Joe Douglas. I think he's going to get blamed for all of this stuff that everybody is talking about. Oh, why didn't we have a better backup in? Why didn't we bring in somebody after he went down? Why is this offensive line so putrid? Why is this, blah, blah, blah. All of those things are going to ultimately come back, in my opinion, to on Joe Douglas. And again, I don't want it to happen, but we're trying to ask Woody Johnson to do something logical, right? And that just seems outside of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. Graham Ashbridge comes in and says maybe we can get a field goal. At this point, I don't see how that would help. Why didn't they have Greg the Leg try before halftime instead of a Hail Mary? Guy can kick a mile. Can't be worse than the Hail Mary shit. Yeah, I mean, or we could have just went into halftime with the lead. Would have been a novel idea. I mean, it's 10-6. Even if they kick this field goal, 13-6, 1-score game. I mean, that was just one of the most disgusting things that they couldn't tackle.
The craziest part about all of this is that we're just one Breece Hall out of this world, take it to the house play, and we're back in it. Yeah. But it's just hard to believe that we're going to get one of those.
Yeah. And Randy, we're all trying to be positive here, but they're not giving us much to be positive about. I don't know how
It's
at
hard,
this
man.
point, this far in, it's very hard to imagine not being doom and gloomy when you're watching an offense that you have to ask the question, have we gotten 2 first downs in one drive? We're here. We're all hoping, but it's hard to stay positive when it's this bad. Again, if we were a team that loses 30-24, if we were a team that loses 42-30, it would suck still losing, but at least we'd have the experience of scoring points. And I think I think we just miss scoring points at this point. It's not even about believing or whether or not we can win the game. I think the question is, do we deserve to have a football team that scores points? It's football. We're not supposed to score 3 to 6 points every week. It's a lot to ask for, obviously I want people to still watch and root and cheer for our team. I certainly don't want our team fighting amongst themselves and arguing about Zach Wilson and stupid things like that. There's no benefit from that. But obviously, when you can't score an offensive touchdown, when you score 1 in like 6 weeks, and you have an offense that is historically bad, you're going to have discussion about what the team needs to do. It's part of being a football fan. Any team in football, the fan base, when their team starts to lose, part of being a football fan and part of the talk of being a football fan is you start to discuss what your team has to do to be better. And that's what we're doing. We're talking about what the Jets need to do to be better. And it's certainly not that play, as we see Boyle get sacked and watch this idiot make a fool of himself dancing like he's a chicken. I hate him. He's getting me to the point where if he gets hurt, I'm going to clap. I hate him. I hate his guts. Celebrate, but without looking like a weird, out of touch square. You know what I mean? That guy looks like he looks like me at a bar mitzvah. You know what I'm saying?
It's just hard, man.
He dumps it off to Conklin, who gets back to the 30-yard line. Again, people are going to ask, why can't we do that on first down?
Because that's not a first down play call. They're expecting that on first.
Right. They're also defensively are going to have a different alignment to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Your play call on first and your play call on third are completely different because of that.
Right. They're literally giving us that play.
Yeah. They want you to take the underneath. They'll stop you.
Yeah. But this is crazy. I'm beginning to get texts from people saying, because the whole country's watching, so I'm getting like text messages from people that live out here saying, "Dude, I'm so sorry. Like, what is it like that you have to live with this and you have to live like this?" When you have Raider fans showing sympathy for you, it's bad. When you like any fan base looks at us and be like, "Sorry, dude." Yeah, we got Detroit fans patting us on the back saying, "We're rooting for you."
It's.
I think the Green Bay fans might be happy. And the more we lose, their second round pick they get from that Rodgers trade starts to look a lot better for them.
Yep.
We get into the top 6. That's like the 38th pick in the draft. That's the second year in a row that they'll have a really good pick from us.
I can't imagine us getting that far down. A top 6 pick. I don't see us getting. I don't think we're getting into the bottom 10 or the top 10 of picks.
Tell me how. I don't care who the opponent is. How could we win a football game if we can't get first downs? If we can't move the ball, how can we honestly win a football game the rest of this year?
It's again, like, I think we got to put a little bit of respect on the Dolphins defense. Ever since they came back, they've been doing better. They're not this elite unit, but they've been getting better. And Ramsey has been playing well, blah, 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 blah. But it's just, you just hope that against some, we're about to face some pretty bad offenses down the stretch here. And you just hope that our defense is going to accomplish something.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't underestimate Houston. Atlanta is well coached, but not a lot of talent.
I wouldn't even say they're all that well coached. I don't know if I believe in Arthur Smith all that much.
All right. Well, he certainly doesn't get a lot out of his tight ends.
Or his new first-round pick running back.
Yeah. Well, at least we've got a cute kid on the screen. Hey, what's up, buddy? Oh, he waved. Hi. Well, you're going to be potty trained young so daddy can save money on diapers. That's what I'd do. I'd have my 3-month-old potty trained. You're cute. This is first Thanksgiving, like where he can actually eat real food, right?
No, he could have. He had chicken last year.
Okay. Time flies.
Yeah, it really does.
A year ago, he was eating solid food.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So they're at the 20-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Sorry about the break from calling the game. I think that we're just trying to recover from all this.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine or see again, it's just like, what more can this defense do? They're on the field constantly. The offense is coming. I think the longest drive we've had is 5 plays. Like,
this is about as inaccurate as a comment as I've ever seen. If you don't know that this is Robert Saleh's defense, you've really got a lot. You got a lot to learn about football. This is 100%. This is Robert Saleh's scheme.
I'm not trying to take anything away from Jeff Ulbrich. He's a big part of this. He's going to get head coaching interviews this offseason. But yeah, this is pretty off the mark.
Yeah. This is off the mark. It's Robert Saleh's defense. And I'm not saying it would go away immediately, but it wouldn't take that long for it to be gone. If Saleh leaves, this defense is going to be quick to leave as well. I mean, it's very doubtful we're going to end up magically, unless we ended up with a new defensive coordinator that came from the Saleh system at some point. Another first down, more yardage. Miami's just having fun now. You know what I mean? Have the Jets made it past the 50-yard line? It's a good question. Have we made it past the 50-yard line?
I think we did once.
Yeah, it's really hard to see Rodgers being enough. I think the offensive line being healthy is the other part of the equation being out. I think if you said just Aaron Rodgers right now, I think you're right. We're not that competitive. But if you give us back our top 5 offensive linemen going, let's say next year we come back healthy, and we don't get decimated with injuries, I think that's a different conversation.
It's just a statistical anomaly to have back-to-back years with 11 plus different offensive linemen playing. Like, dude, when was the last time a team had in back-to-back years 11 offensive linemen, different offensive linemen? Like,
yeah, it's interesting that you say let's take an edge again, Jets 82, because Tigo would argue that
I wouldn't argue. I'm just saying it might happen.
Right. Tigo's arguing it might happen. He's saying it might happen.
Like,
There's a chance it could happen if Huff is gone when they cut Carl Lawson, they might do it. They seem to like stacking edge.
Again, I would go wide receiver. That's what I would pick in the first round, but it's not hard to see them falling in love with this edge class.
Yeah, Frank says all the doom and gloom is not hurting anything. The Jets' offense is embarrassing. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, we're talking about it from how we feel, right? I mean, we all realistically, the fans have no impact. Obviously, especially us watching at home, have what we say, believe, or feel has nothing to do on the game. But we are watching as a community, so we're trying to keep it positive, right? But obviously, we all got very negative at the end of the half. But I think that's just we're all fans, and that's I think when you have a play like that end of the half play, I think as a fan base, we have the right to be negative. We have the right to be upset, the right to be down. I don't think that you could expect the entire Jets fandom or fan base to sit there and clap and say, that's okay. We can get this back when you experience a play like that. That was an humiliating play, and it took the energy out of us all. And again, it's one thing to be losing games. It's another thing to be unable to get first downs, unable to move the ball, unable to compete. As fun as it is to have a really good defense and a great defense, it's the funnest part of football is scoring points. It's really hard to have a great time and enjoy a game when your team is unable to score points. And we haven't even moved the ball enough to get a field goal. And we're deep into the game, deep into the third quarter. So it's rough. It's hard to stay positive. You're going to have a lot of doom and gloom. But I'm not giving up on the chance that this team could have a future. We still have a core of some good players.
Dude, it just never ends. Why are you throwing that hit, JJ? It just doesn't make sense, man.
It's unbelievable. Oh, they called him for that?
Again, it's such a soft call. He's still in bounds. You're allowed to throw that hit. They're calling the face mask on CJ, I believe, not the hit.
Oh.
I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah, he's got his face mask.
Yeah.
He was saying it, the running back, before he even went down. He was like, why? Yeah. I don't know what to say. The reality is that's at this point of the game, that's not what's going to make me sit there and say that cost us the game, but that's what's going to lead to a Miami touchdown right now, most likely. It's
going to be more points. At least it's 3 points at this point. Even if we get 3 stops, it's a field goal.
Yeah, it's a turnover. Instead of them having to punt, they are now going to score points of some kind. So, it's becoming one of those nightmare things you just wanted to end. It's becoming one of those nightmarish situations you just want to get out of it. Wilson with a run of 8 yards. Wilson Jr.
Right, and again, our defense just stays on the field the whole time. It's we're not. It's crazy at this point in time. Do you want to know how much time of possession the stats are? The Jets have 12 minutes and 30 seconds of total possession time. The Miami Dolphins, 30 minutes and 24 seconds. They have almost 3 times our possession time. And of course this defense is getting sloppy. Of course,
right. It's not even the fourth quarter. And Miami's had the ball for over 30 minutes.
Yep, they have it for 31 minutes.
Yeah. Somebody arguing, they say, let's avoid the gloom and doom. Another argument might be, Well, that's the team's responsibility to play at a level that's not going to lead to gloom and doom.
Yeah.
You know? So Knopfcraft doesn't think we're winning a game the rest of the year, and I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I think we'll win one because of statistics. Like our defense will eventually, there'll be just we'll play a team that just has a worse week than us. But I mean, there's no game that I'm thinking I'm feeling confident at this point. I mean, I don't feel confident about any game we play now at this point. But it's wow. I mean, what do you think of honestly, Tigo, if you have to predict, what's the Jets' final record?
Oh, again, I don't know. I think you're right. It's hard to see this team winning beyond this, at all. So if you were to tell me that it ends 4-13, I wouldn't be all that surprised. But I think you can squeak out a win or two, down the stretch. I think you can beat Atlanta. I think you can beat Houston. I think you can beat, Washington. Those are beatable teams. Hopefully, maybe you beat New England at the end of the year. But I would not be surprised if we barely make it to 6 wins.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking. At this point, I'm thinking 7 wins would be incredible. Something would have had to change. Like Rodgers comes back, Dwayne Brown comes back, Becton's healthy, the offensive line starts to improve a lot. Like there would have to be a major shift. But 4 to 6 wins. I mean, we're either going to obviously I don't think we're going to not lose out. So 5 or 6 wins. I mean, I think that's not even me trying to be angry and upset. And that's me thoughtfully thinking about it. I think we're going to win 5 to 6 games based on what we're watching. Jonathan Francois says we're not winning another game. We can't score. Very hard to argue with him. I just think when you collectively consider that we have 6 games and some of them are not great teams, you'd argue that somehow there's going to be a win in there somehow. I mean, we beat the Rams 2 years ago, right? I mean, so I
think that's the point. Statistically, this idea that we're not we just lose out is a little bit just statistically an anomaly, but I can't believe I'm about to say this, but the Jets with this team, and they've already benched Zach. It's hard for you to go back to Zach after benching him. So we're going to go to Tim Boyle, which isn't great. Now we're going to go to Trevor probably in a couple games, which isn't going to be great. It's crazy to say, but the Jets might be in position to go get Marvin Harrison Jr. and that's crazy, man.
Some people think it's Woody Johnson. You blame Woody for this one?
Kind of. Yeah. A little bit. San Francisco was willing to move on from their, failed pick and give him a fresh start somewhere else. And it's hard to not see Woody being involved in the keeping of Zach Wilson around. And it's not hard to see this offense being hamstrung financially by Woody saying no. Again, it's no. 1 second.
That's what you get when you have kids. Did we really believe that wasn't going to happen though? When you say Boyle sucks just as bad as Zach, I mean, yeah, I could have told you that when they put him on the team in the beginning of the year, and I was like, why is Boyle on our team?
Again, it's
stupid. And
Rodgers was never supposed to get hurt. That was the whole point. Yeah. He doesn't get hurt. He doesn't miss time. And then of course he comes to the Jets and he does. And that's the crazy part.
Yeah. This is rough.
And another touchdown for Miami, and that's the game.
This time it is Mostert. Yeah, and I know people are going to want to say our defense is not that good. This has nothing to do with our defense.
Dude, they're gassed. They've
There's
been on
no
the field
defense
for
in the
40
NFL.
minutes.
There's no defense in the NFL that could do this. So anyway, I just want to bring up again, if you go to Brooklyn Brothers Food Review, great food reviews. GreenBean is going to be on a live show on our channel, eating crazy hot sauce, burning his mouth off. That's Brooklyn Brothers Food Review. And also, if you haven't subscribed to Jets Chaos or Talking Jets with Tigo, you might want to come to our sites on YouTube and check it out.
Yeah, you can see the frustration boiling, man. They're people throwing fists and getting angry and freaking field goals, man.
Yep. This is the problem with, like our locker room right now.
And now we got a ref bleeding. Oh, someone's getting ejected.
God. If we're fighting on the field with them, this is leaking into our locker room. This frustration. And look, Salah's not doing anything. Isn't a head coach supposed to be doing something when it breaks down? Because it looks like Miami coach is kind of involved in what's happening right now. Like McDaniels.
I think he's yelling. I think he's yelling at the refs because he's about to get a player ejected. I think that's what's happening. But Salah is also dejected. Like, it's hard to stay motivated in this moment. Like, I'm not saying that that's an excuse, but like.
Good thing the fan base doesn't love a scapegoat. It feels like there's a lot of scapegoats, though, this year. Some people it's Zach Wilson. Some people it's Robert Saleh. Some people it's Hackett. Some people it's everyone. Some people it's Woody Johnson. Some people it's JD. It's almost hard to keep up with. So, and then everybody has their favorites. They have people that they're defending. So some people are blaming JD. I mean, if Rodgers doesn't get hurt and our offensive line stays healthy and we're on our way to the playoffs, nobody's complaining about these guys. No one is saying they need to be replaced. I mean, so sometimes things are situational, right?
But it's hard to imagine, even with the healthy O-line and all this stuff, I still look at this wide receiver problem as something that, it's a Jets issue. I think Joe Douglas is at fault with his wide receiver room because I think he put way too much blame, or not blame. I think he put way too much belief. I think he put way too much belief in a offense that was players on offense that were going to want to play with Aaron Rodgers. And when guys didn't come to the Jets for that, when that didn't happen, I think it was something that he couldn't. I don't think it ever crossed his mind that OBJ was going to go to the Ravens and that Corey Davis was going to retire. It was, OBJ's, of course, he's going to want to play with Aaron. And of course, CD's going to want to play with Aaron. And now our wide receiver room is so totally different if both of those guys are on the team. But to not have a plan past that, it's just.
It's odd. I hear what you're saying. It's very odd right now. My head looks like it has a band on it or something.
Yeah, you got the light coming through.
Yeah, that's light. That's the ring light. Okay, let's see if I get rid of that.
I don't think it's the ring light. Is there a window somewhere?
Yeah, I can't do anything about that, but there's a ring light that's on me. Oh, no, that's not the ring light.
It's not the ring light. Huh. It's your window or something.
Let's see if I can block this. That's crazy. I gotta crouch down underneath it. This is an argument of why we might lose out. It might not matter who the other team is. Like the way we've been playing, I don't know if it has anything to do with our opponent. It feels like we're beating ourselves.
Yeah, but again, it's like what I'm not going to sit here and blame the defense for getting frustrated when I legitimately don't remember the last time the offense scored a point. They haven't scored a point this game.
Yeah. And that's been the problem, Ryan. I mean, we've been getting off to like reasonable. This is the second year in a row we were given some hope, and we thought that we could somehow pull it off. But here we are. It's like we come back from the bye and nothing's the same. Like, what happened to the team that beat the Eagles? What happened?
Clemens has been ejected.
And the evacuation begins. So GreenBean says people are leaving. Clemens got ejected. Did any of them get ejected?
Not that I saw, or I don't have the audio, so I don't necessarily know.
Yeah.
He punched out.
This is the second week in a row. Oh my God! This is the second week in a row with him.
Yeah, I think he's done after this year. It was a late round pick that we believed in, and maybe we could turn into something, but hasn't really done much to deserve to be on this team. And again, I know you guys aren't there yet, but me and Dom C, as most of you guys are familiar with, we have a draft podcast that we do every week, and we've been evaluating players for weeks. And this edge class is really good, not just in the first round. It is a really good first round edge class, but it is also a really good. Hey, we're moving the ball.
Nice play from Breece Hall there.
Yeah. And we get another one. Look at that. Back-to-back firsts.
Amazing. 27-6. We are down 21 points. Did you see how look at Garrett Wilson? Oh my God. What kind of defense are they playing against us right now? Is this straight up the same defense, so this matters, or is this garbage time?
This is prevent defense. Give them anything underneath. Keep them on the field as long as possible without scoring points. Don't give up the big play. This is why you're going to see the offense starting to function now at this point. It's going to start happening because of the fact that the defense is playing over the top. You're not going to see man coverage all that often at this point in time. And so that's what's happening right now.
Okay. Interesting scramble from Boyle there. I'll tell you what, even if Zach came out and had one of his good games today, with this offensive line, it doesn't feel like he would have been able to do, even at his best, having a good game, it doesn't look like he would have been able to make a difference this game. Just based on the offensive line, I think Zach would have been in a lot of trouble. Nothing against him. I think that, I don't think this offense does enough to help, that would have done enough to help Zach.
Yeah. There's only one starter. Think back to week one. There is only one person on this offensive line that was there week one. Only one.
Tomlinson. That's it. Fourth down, they're going to go for it. It's the most exciting thing they've done all day.
Dude.
See if they can get to the other side of the 50-yard line. It looks like a penalty. Who's it going to be on?
On us, of course.
They're showing Warren.
Yep.
Motion. Now it's 4th and 7. Boy, is this ugly. And we will obviously have to punt. Wow. That's all I can say. Oh, we're going to go for it. Look at Salah, man. Boy, does he look like a guy who's given up. They're really going to do it. He throws it. First down, Conklin. Good job. Good play. Good play. As people empty out of MetLife Stadium, the Jets get 3 first downs in a row. Very nice play.
Yeah, and it's moving the ball in garbage time in a situation where it doesn't matter because they're not really playing defense on you.
I don't think Rodgers is going to be a disaster. I don't know where that's coming from. That's pretty doom and gloom, if you ask me. Laughing out loud.
He got some super chats that you missed.
Oh, sorry, guys. Let me just go into that section. Let's see, we saw that one. Randy Hamilton saying, "Let me go one more." Okay, we saw that one. I think I missed this one. Tim Boyle did nothing wrong. We are cursed. Might be. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that, Randy. Grassi Posse came. We saw that before. Okay. Matt, did you? Okay, so this is from before. I just want to make sure I don't miss any. B. West with the abusive relationship comments. Asking the D to play D from the bench. I remember that. I want everyone fired. Everyone. From Jonathan Francois, who's... I can't even try to cheer you up, Jonathan. There's nothing I can say. We're not winning another game. We can't score. Knobcraft says, if Rodgers returns and gets re-injured, does Woody just cut bait and clean house? Maybe. It's not impossible. Can't have another year. If we have another year like this next year, it's over. We're cleaning house.
Oh, yeah.
I assure you that. Another first down, Garrett Wilson. It's weird. Now we're looking like an offense.
Well, of course we are. Like I said, they're going to give you everything underneath. They're going to give you they're going to let you run out the clock. They're going to give you the plays, and you need 3 touchdowns to get back into it. They don't care if you score. They want you to waste time on the field. They're just not going to give you the 1-play touchdown. Now we're going to get Tim Boyle to kind of look like a quarterback.
It's nice to see Jeremy Rucker come in and do that.
Yeah.
And then we got, thanks for the super chat, Kay Thomas. We got Vladdy P, who says, I hope we realize that at least 2 of Garrett Wilson's Saucer Hall request a trade. I don't know if they're going to request a trade. I hope not. But I mean,
even if they do, doesn't mean you have to oblige them.
Right. I don't know. We'll see. I think Aaron Rodgers being healthy will change the lot. Will save the locker room. I mean, the one thing he does is he gets them excited. If he comes back healthy, looking good, they'll heal over the offseason, I think they'll be okay. I think they've imploded this season, though. And I think we have learned something about this team for right now. This team right now lacks a lot of discipline. So I think that this offseason, there's going to have to be some thought process about like the philosophy. And Robert Saleh, if he stays as the head coach, is going to have to figure that out. Because these penalties and the fights and Clemens 2 weeks in a row with fights, they're going to have to figure this out. Because right now they kind of need to get a grasp. But anyway, thanks for the super chat, guys. Appreciate the super chats. Looks like we just turned the ball over potentially.
No.
Okay. So where are we? Let's catch up. Jeremy Rucker looks like he's a little...
Got the wind knocked out of him, I think.
Yeah, okay. He looked a little beat up. Look at us sitting down here. 25-yard line. Quarterback sneak. First down. So here we are trying to score. Obviously, what does it mean, Tigo? Do we feel a little bit better? Is there a little bit to be happy about if we can get the ball into the end zone right now?
Not at this point. Again, like this offense working at this point is a detriment to not a detriment to the team. Let me correct that.
Oh.
It's not happening quick enough.
What I feel about Garrett Wilson every once in a while he seems to do a very something kind of disastrous-ish happens with him. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's one of the things that This was my biggest criticism of Garrett Wilson coming into the season was he's going to be the guy this year. And when we looked at the wide receiver room, I had a question of how is he going to handle the limelight? Because at no point in his college career was he the guy. There was always a number 2, a number 3 that was a legitimately worth a look. And now on this team, there isn't a guy that's worth a look that's not named Garrett Wilson in that wide receiver room. So now you're in a situation where like he's getting all this extra attention. And he rightfully so. And you're starting to see the mistakes coming. And the other thing is you're seeing this with Garrett and with Brees, where they know they need to make a play. Mm-hmm. They play every play as I need to get a touchdown right now. And so they're having these lapses in concentration. We see that where he doesn't catch that ball, hits him square in the hands and he doesn't catch that ball. Or Brees on a pitch play, something that he runs every single practice, he doesn't secure the ball. Why? Because they've got their eyes upfield. How am I going to make the next man miss? I have to make a play right now so that I can. They're trying too much because they don't believe that this offense is going to go out there and manufacture points. And now you're starting to see these concentration mistakes. Now you're starting to see these mistakes happen where last year we weren't seeing, at least not at this level, the mistakes from Garrett Wilson. And in the first 7 games of Brees, we didn't see any of these mistakes, but they know that they're the only guys who can manufacture anything on this team. So.
Modine is not being very optimistic for next year. Anthony says you have to fire Joe Giansalon now after this embarrassing bullshit.
Again, I think everybody gets a pass. The moment Aaron Rodgers sits back down, he gets a pass from that. They all do.
No, I think that's the reality. It doesn't mean it's right, but the reality is they're all going to get a pass. Nobody's talking about them being on the hot seat. Not with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, that's horrible.
What?
Phillips I think he's done. He's getting carted off. He can't put any weight on his. Oh, you'll see the replay.
GreenBean, did you deleted somebody's account?
It was by accident. He undid it.
He'll take care of it. Yeah.
Another Achilles taken by MetLife. You could see it happening. I don't know if you're watching the screen, but Jalen Phillips, that's an Achilles. He's done. That sucks for him, man. He was having such a good year.
Oh, for who?
Jalen Phillips of the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, wow. That's a big loss for them.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that. Oh, those non-contact injuries are the worst. Those non-contact, when they go down like that, Yeesh.
Yeah, dude. I hate seeing an injury on any player. I don't care what team you play for. I hate injuries. And it sucks because the guy's been having an excellent year. I believe this was a contract year for him as well.
Yeesh. It's late in the year. I mean, will he even be ready for the beginning of next year?
Again, an Achilles is 6 months turnaround, so he should be. But I believe that this is Phillips's. No. He was a first-round pick, not a fourth-round pick. I thought he was a fourth-round pick. A second-round pick. No, but he was there first. So it's not a contract year for him, which is good, but you just saw that left leg just snap.
They certainly didn't see DJ. They certainly didn't seem to make much of an effort to make that tackle at the end of the half. That's how I felt. I felt like they were just kind of, but Drug Monkey wants to burn it all down. You might feel differently after we've had some time to calm down from this humiliation. But this is how I feel. Like right now, he's like Rodgers would not save this. I agree. Like I don't believe that I think it'd make any situation better. It'd be an improvement, but not. It's not like he was a miracle worker in Green Bay. They won one Super Bowl. Like it's not like he's a miracle worker. He's not like
Well, he's
but
got 4 MVPs. Like again, I don't. If
I
Rodgers
think,
is healthy, if Rodgers is playing, I think even behind this O-line, nobody respects our quarterbacks. Nobody. You don't respect the throw. No team does. So you stack the box and you know that the guy's not going to hit a guy open. I've seen it multiple times. Garrett Wilson running open. I think Rodgers finds Garrett open most of the time. I'm not saying it fixes everything. I'm not saying anything like that. But yeah, a Hall of Fame quarterback fixes a lot of the issues that we're running into. Not any of the injuries, none of that stuff. That all sucks that all that's happening, but I don't think it's this bad. Like
I think that I think that we could be okay with Aaron and a healthy offensive line. I just think he needs.
Oh yeah.
And when I say okay, I'm not saying we would definitely be better with Aaron Rodgers. It's a different team, but to really have a serious chance to be a contender, we need our offensive line to stay healthy. Come on, we need to be able to also block.
Dude, the way that I look at it is just like it's what if it stayed healthy, man? That's it. Even with this wide receiver room, even with Aaron Rodgers going down, and just what if the O-line held up? What if CMG was still in? What if Tip could play right guard? What if Elijah Vera Tucker was still in? What does this team with that offensive line look like? It's just, I know it's a big what if, and you're going to have all these, you can't have what ifs, man, but what if these quarterbacks had more than half a second to get the ball out? It's just, and I hate playing the what if game because it's dumb. Playing what if is
offside free play.
Another one, yeah.
Oh, I thought that got in there. Darn it. Thought that one made it through. Can't get a break. It looked like a good pass for a second. Let's look at this. So how much is the loss of Phillips going to hurt Miami?
He's a big part of why that defense works. He's a big part of what happens and the pressure that he creates off the edge.
Oh, it's offsetting? That's the second time I've seen us take a free play and screw it up. The second time. Like, we can't even accept free plays.
Nope. Again, because we're going to hold
this team.
Give me 1 second.
We can't even have free plays. Got to be kidding me. Back to that. Boy, am I behind. Sorry, guys. Boyle to Brees Hall. First down. I don't know why that makes
mode real quick and just peek my head out.
So we just got a first down.
Yep.
Brees Hall. So there's that.
The thing you have to remember, obviously, with Miami's defense now that Phillips is gone, is they still have Chubb, they still have Wilkins there, and there's still forces to be reckoned with. But it's that third guy that was guaranteed to get a solo, right? And that tended to be Phillips. You were double teaming Wilkins, you were double teaming Chubb, and so Phillips had a one-on-one, and he was winning a majority of them.
No, that was an ugly play right there for a sec.
And game.
Well, it's already been game. But from what you just said, I have a feeling something very ugly is about to happen. Let's see what it is. Boyle back. He throws. It's up. Interception. Boy. Doesn't get much uglier than this.
Nope.
Doesn't get much uglier. What do you say, everybody? How many games are the Jets going to win the rest of the year? We may as well keep ourselves busy. Does anyone think we're going to win any more games this year? Everybody, how many games do you think the Jets are going to win this year? 1 game, 0 games, 2 games, 3 games? We have 6 games left after this, right? Yes. 6 games left. How many of the 6 games are we going to win? Joe Campione says 0. 0 games. Benny is saying 1 more because he's saying 5 and 12. We have a 4, which means 0. Bishop thinks we're going to win 2 more games. The Juice Man thinks we're going to not win another game. Phil Adams doesn't think we're going to win another game. Regular Phil thinks that we are going to win enough to fuck up the draft position. Oh, God, I can't believe we're having these conversations. 1 from Vladdy, 0 from New York Jets fan 4. Captain America's asking for Zach Wilson to save us. Don't hold your breath.
He cannot be activated.
Billy SBC. Winning more games doesn't help us. 0 more wins. They're not going to tank on purpose. Hall acting like he couldn't find the ball. Ryan thinks they'll steal one somewhere. I agree that statistically they probably will. Harold Johnson says 0-5. Question for you, Tigo. Walway says, if we lose out, where do you think we're going to draft?
I can 4 give me 2 seconds, and I can tell you. Remember that a lot of things and a lot of other teams need to do a lot of different things. It can't be with certain accuracy or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can at least give you a relative range. So if we lose out, right? Theoretically, if we lose out, we could end up with the number 1 overall pick. Like theoretically.
Mm.
But that would require the Panthers to win games, the Bears to win games, and all of that stuff. So
very, very difficult.
But the reality is that if we lose out with where the standings are right now, it wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility of us to have a top 5 pick.
Be an interesting
Again,
situation.
The Patriots are probably going to end up with the number 1 overall pick because they're just the team that's so far gone in terms of like it's going to be Panthers. It's probably going to be Panthers Patriots 1-2 if we want to be objective with it. Maybe it's Panthers Cardinals. Those are your top 3 teams realistically, but with 4 wins. Right now, if we lose out, you got to ask questions of like, do the Commanders win? If we lose out, the Commanders get another win, so they wouldn't get ahead of us. Do the Giants get another win? Do the Rams get another win? Do the Bears get another 2 wins? The Falcons and the Falcons would get another win because they play us. So like you can end up anywhere from number 4 overall to like number 8-ish number all.
And who is it? It's Ashton Davis again.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
guy's just got to be like every game starter. He just got to be. He's a big play. He's a playmaker. I mean, when you consider the amount of reps he gets overall and the amount of plays he's made. Now, he didn't cause that fumble, but he fell on it. And people might say, well, Jeremy, what's the big deal? He just fell on a football. How many of our guys don't know how to do that?
We've been asking for that for years.
Right. How many of our guys don't know how to simply throw their body on a football? But he's always around the ball. He's always there. Too many to get the best draft pick. We're not going to get the best draft pick, but the draft pick might become very valuable.
The thing is that if we lose out, we're in prime position for, Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, I would take a serious look at one of these quarterbacks, especially to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. But yeah.
But Anthony G comes in, 4-12 Jets beat the 3-13 Patriots, and we help them get their quarter. That's what I'm worried about. And we help them get their next Tom Brady. It would be just like us to do it, just like our history, just like us.
I don't think the Pats take.
Thank you for the super chat, Anthony.
They should,
for the super chat.
But
they should. Vinny Chinoki says, "Kudos to you two beings forced to watch this debacle. Buy a couple of beers each with this. Do you both under strength and conditioning stuff could help?" I don't know. I don't know if any strength and conditioning staff can make a difference with the dark cloud this team seems to have over it as far as injuries. They did a whole new medical staff. It doesn't seem to be working. So I don't know, Tigo. Do you think they need to go? Is it that's completely irrelevant?
My thing is like we were having these injuries. We've been having these injury problems for years. This is a new strength and conditioning staff,
right?
Like theoretically, you know what I mean? Like it's. I don't know. I think we're trying to find ways to overcome what can only be chalked up as bad luck.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, cause like. Vinny, I would love it. I would love it if I could just straight up just be like, yeah, you know what? It's a strength and conditioning thing. Let's get a new strength and conditioning staff. Everything gets fixed. That's just, I don't know if that's the reality.
Yeah. Wish it was that simple.
I think the easiest thing to do is just replace the field, but like, that's not going to happen. Phillips doesn't get hurt. I don't think Rodgers gets hurt.
And why is Breece Hall still in this game?
Everyone's still in this game. You're not going to, as an offensive staff, you can't do that. With this team that's struggling this much, you can't literally give up on the game. Now, if you're the defense, that's a different story entirely. But as an offensive staff, that's how you get fired. Legitimately. If they were to just quit out and, Izzy's going to get all the snaps and it's just going to go Brownlee, Gibson, Irv Charles for the rest of the game. That's how okay. Yeah, then everyone gets fired.
For giving up. Brownlee again with a reception. Now we have to remember it's much easier part of the game to have some offense.
Yeah. Again, we're gonna move the ball. It's gonna look good finally, and it's because they're gonna let it look good. They don't care if we score a touchdown because there's 5 minutes left.
Thanks again, Vinny, for the super chat. We appreciate it. I'm definitely gonna have a beer after this game. I promise you that.
I'm just gonna hug my kids after this. I'm just gonna find the one thing that brings me joy in life.
Paul, I'm going to answer this question very simply for you. Miami paid him $8 million. That's how. $8 million.
Yeah.
We couldn't afford to pay him $8 million.
That is not that complicated. Yeah. He got $8 million to sit behind the most injury-prone quarterback at the time, who is dude. Big ups to Tua, not getting hurt this year, staying healthy. That's great. But yeah, he went to a team where he thought he could start. Aaron Rodgers has missed time twice in a 19-year career.
Yeah. I think that Izzy, not for the giving up. I say you give Izzy some snaps because I know the Jets' luck. It's like every play we're out there is a risk. Why do it when it doesn't mean anything? My fear is that you give Breece Hall a carry right now and he limps off the field and then they tell us his Achilles is torn. That's my fear. That's like that we're pushing, that something horrible is going to happen because we have this horrendously bad dark cloud. And it's like, why not just go with the kid and let the kid play? And like this way, we're not risking Breece Hall's health. But I understand that these guys also want to score a touchdown really bad because it's becoming historically embarrassing. And they need to score a touchdown to avoid starting to set more records for the worst offensive in the history of modern football. And I know that it's not me being extreme and it's not me embellishing. They literally right now are in danger of becoming the worst offense in the history of modern football. I would like to avoid that tag. And maybe that's what they're thinking.
It's that, but I just, like I said, if you're Hackett and you legitimately just say, screw it, put all the kids in, we're giving up on the game. That's how you get fired. Easily get fired.
Yeah. I mean, think about how Miami feels, though. I was sitting there saying, what if Breece Hall gets hurt? Miami's got to start thinking. Miami seems to be getting banged up. Like, at what point are they going to – they just lost – they may have just lost for the season a critical player. Like, at what point are they going to get conservative and just bring in garbage time guys and let us get a bullshit touchdown?
Yeah.
I mean, once the win is the win and the loss is the loss, to me, you got to protect your capital, your assets. It's a rough game, especially when no one cares anymore. Looks like a touchdown, possibly. Oh no, he dropped it. I don't mind plays like that, Tigo. I don't mind when they throw it up for a contested fight over a football.
Yeah, look, when you're in the red zone like that and you got Garrett Wilson, that's a good play. It's a good play to take a shot and to try something like that, Luckily, it's a penalty, so I think you got a first down. Again, it's a free play. Here's the thing. In the red zone, you can take those shots, and now Javon Holland is going into the blue tent. You have to wonder when Miami is going to put their twos out there. You can't keep risking your guys. Yeah. Javon Holland's been, I think, the best safety in football this year.
Yeah, they're losing. They're losing quality players right now. That's unbelievable to me. Like, it's just sad to say that football is that dangerous, but injuries seem to happen. The rate of injuries and the kind of injuries, it feels like you don't want to play more downs than you have to. Wow, Gibson to the 1 yard line.
That was a great throw and catch, though.
Let Izzy come in and get the touchdown. Let the kid come in. They're going to try to give Breece Hall a touchdown? Nope. Touchdown, right? Garrett Wilson, touchdown for the Jets.
At least we got one. Hey. We can score points. The offense has scored points this game.
Wow.
Good job doing the bare minimum of what an offense is supposed to do.
It's horrible to score a touchdown and not even be able to cheer.
Yeah.
Again, it'll be interesting to watch the tape and see how Warren did.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious. I was having this conversation. I'm curious now that we're in garbage time. Let's say Rodgers can come back this year, right? Do you start him? Do you play him this year? Let's say, I think we can both agree season's kind of over. I don't see this team scoring very many points. I don't see this team making a run. I just don't see that happening.
Right.
Maybe all that changes and you win the next 2 games and we're all back on the bandwagon, but I'm not gonna preemptively hope anymore.
Right.
So let's say season's done. And it's, schedule is happening, blah, blah, blah. And he says, okay, I'm good to come. And it's December 24th. There's 3 games left. You got Washington, you got Cleveland, you got New England. And he says, I can go. Do you play him? I've got some opinions, but I don't want to color your opinion. What do you think? Do you play him?
I mean, if it's going to be an issue to the point where he's going to be unhappy and it's going to cause all kinds of issues.
No. It's your decision. He's cool with it any other way. He says, I'm ready to go, but coach, it's on you. Do you want me to play? You got to make that call.
If he puts it on me, I'm probably going to say no. If we're out of it anyway, and just protect him. And, I do understand the other side of it, though. So I'm not adamantly saying it. I understand the other side of it. I understand why it might be a good idea to let him play. Because if he comes in and he plays, and we win games, I know people are going to say, oh, but that's going to hurt us in the draft. But maybe it would make the team feel better. Oh, when he's playing, look at us, we're better, and put some confidence. Plus, it might set up next year that he's not coming in after missing an entire season, right? He might come in feeling a little bit, like he might be more ready to play competitive football if he gets some games in this year. So there's arguments to why it could be good for him to play.
I'm on that boat. If he says he's ready to go, you're going in. Even if the season is over, I'm playing Aaron Rodgers. And the reason for that is I will say this. The evaluation or the ability to evaluate this team with Aaron Rodgers, even with all of the hurt at the offensive line and this wide receiver room, it's going to be able to, in my opinion, open up a lot of eyes, I guess, on the evaluation of what this team can be. Because what happens if he goes out there behind a broken and tattered offensive line and he starts slinging it? And now you go, wait, the offensive line wasn't a problem. The quarterbacks were a problem. I don't believe that. I think the offensive line is a problem. But what if? You can answer some very important questions about this wide receiver room. Do our backup quarterbacks just suck? Yeah, they do. And that's why the wide receivers aren't effectively operating? Or do the wide receivers truly suck? We need to go and get more wide receivers. Either way, we should walk away with offensive linemen and wide receivers. But I think the evaluation capability of being able to see what this team looks like with Aaron Rodgers is invaluable. So I would play him.
Yeah. Maybe he makes no difference. How about that bit of info? Well, I mean, it's
that's a lot of info.
If you talk about if you take off the second part of this comment, which just, I don't know why it's even there. Maybe he makes no difference. Okay. Maybe he doesn't. I don't have a bottle, a genie bottle or whatever. I don't have a crystal ball. Maybe he wouldn't make a difference. Maybe he's too old. Maybe he never comes back from the injury. Maybe. How about that bit of info? I just don't understand that question, because that you're acting like it's information, like it's true. I don't know anything's true. Maybe he doesn't make a difference. Maybe he makes all the difference. I know based on the fact that even if he had statistically one of his worst seasons, if he had his worst statistical season, it'd still be better and it would still make a difference. So I don't know why anybody would predict that he has the worst statistical season of his career, because that's what it would take. It would take significantly worse than he's ever done for it not to make a difference.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Super Bowl difference. I'm saying just better.
Yeah. Again, I stand by the fact of any info is still more info. We have 4 snaps of Aaron Rodgers. I would love to see more than that. Not just for my own sanity to see all that stuff, but again, man, if he goes out there and now we're throwing for 350, which again is highly unlikely, and 3 touchdowns, and now you're just like, wait, this offensive line isn't that bad, and these wide receivers aren't this bad. Maybe the quarterback was the problem, and that's why we couldn't score and do anything, and wow, everything gets fixed. That's insanely optimistic if you're looking at it that way, right? And you shouldn't, but at least it gives you information. Because again, in the first round this year, there's a lot of really good wide receivers and there's a lot of really good offensive tackles. And where you go in the first round really depends on what you see out there, right? Like, now I know a lot of people are going to lean offensive line, and like that's where they're going to want to focus. But again, I just it's easy to see why that information is important. And that's why if I was making that decision, I would do it.
Yeah. JW, thank you so much for the super chat. JW comes in and says, but will we have a competent quarterback as the backup if Rodgers goes down, or just throw everything away for one shot or bust? Do you think we're going to bring in a competent backup quarterback this offseason? Or and if not, who is going to be our backup quarterback?
I don't see again, it's one of those things of, yeah, it's a touchdown.
Another touchdown.
Yeah, you just
wow.
Dude, what team has a competent backup? That's the real question. You know what I mean? I think it's more likely that we have a rookie quarterback as the backup. Whether that's a first-round quarterback, a third-round quarterback, a fourth-round quarterback, whatever. If you want to talk draft, you can meet me over at the Draft Dodgers, whatever. That's not what this is. I think that the reality is, dude, if Aaron Rodgers goes down, then the season is done every way. Everyone's fired. There's no saving it if Aaron Rodgers goes down. There's not a quarterback on the market that you're going to bring in that's going to save the season if Aaron Rodgers goes down. Because the reality is that you're not going to be able to fix the offensive line and the wide receiver room and you're not going to be able to fix everything. And you don't have all of the money in the world this offseason. Just the truth, you don't. We don't have a ton of cap space to operate this offseason. And now if you're talking about bringing in an offensive lineman, possibly two, if you don't bring back Becton, if you're talking about we need to bring in at least two wide receivers, I think that's for sure, like guaranteed. And this is a great free agency class to do it. That costs money, man. And we still need to replenish the interior of the defensive line. We're about to lose 3 guys on the interior of the defensive line. We're going to need to bring in edge players. We're about to lose another 2 defensive linemen probably if we don't sign Huff. And if we do sign Huff, how much is that contract going to be? We don't have all of this money in the world. So this idea of bringing in a competent backup is just, dude, they're the backup. Does anybody believe that the Bengals are going to have a successful season now that Joe Burrow is down? No, if your number 1 goes down, you're done.
Yeah, I kind of think it'd be better. It might be more bearable if we had someone a little better than Boyle, but I could see your point. At the end of the day, it's not going to matter much. It's not going to move. Nothing's going to move the meter, right? I mean, the only chance we have to make a serious run next year is if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, and if he's good, like if he's still got something in the tank and has just for him, if he an average Aaron Rodgers year, if he could just have an average year for him and stay healthy, we've got a shot to do something with this defense and with our running back, but I do think like you're now to be. If he gets hurt, I agree with you. There's no shot. Also, if we really want to win a Super Bowl, though, we need more than just Aaron Rodgers back. Like you said, I think we need obviously the offensive line, and also we need another receiver. Because it's not like there's great teams out there. If we want to play the Eagles, Kansas City, if we seriously want to compete with the best teams, it's more than just Aaron Rodgers and a great defense. He's got to have the receivers and he's got to have the offensive line so we can have the running game, and we got to be able to be dominant. So, to be at that level. So if we're really chasing our dream here and we only have 1 year window of a possible Aaron Rodgers left, we've got to this season address the offensive line and wide receiver room. We have to step it up in those areas.
And again, you're going to want to maintain your elite defense, and now you've got to address the defensive line. You're going to have a conversation about the safety room because Jordan Whitehead's on the last year of his deal. And what do you do about CJ Mosley? He's aging and he's got a big contract, and you can't run this tight end room back. Right? CJ Uzama's probably not going to be here, so you need another tight end. We only have 5 picks in this draft, guys. We have 5 picks. We have a first, a third, 2. We have a first, a third. I think it's 2 fourths. No, I think it's a first, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth. We don't have a plethora of picks like we've had in previous years. So you're going to have to prioritize certain things, and we don't have all the money in the world. You have to be pragmatic with how you're going to address the needs that your team has and how you're going to go about doing those things. Is it two? Okay, It's 2 4s and a 6. We don't have a 5th. Thank you, Freedom House. Like, look at Q. He just looks dejected. He looks defeated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wants to win, and they really believe they believe that they were going to. Like, it wasn't fake to them. Like, it was very real in their minds. They were gonna come in and have a really big year, and the defense, came out and did what they did what they were supposed to do, and Rodgers got hurt, and they have an offense who can't score points. I mean, that's just the reality. Vinny again with another super chat. Thank you so much. Minichu and a quarterback pick in the draft. JG should put his foot down and save some money with all those Rodgers buddies who have been a complete waste. The problem is some of the contract you can't get out of some of the contracts. Like, we're stuck with Lazard's contract next year.
Yep.
I think it's just the one more year, and then it wouldn't be expensive to get out. So, but we gave him a guarantee of 2 years, so we can't get out of that. I don't think the Cobb was 1 year, so we definitely are out of that. So that's not a problem. Turner's not a problem. There's no money stuck in him. So the only place there's money left is Lazard and Rodgers for next year.
Yeah. Yeah, and now it's just, why would Minshew come here? That's a real question. What money? How much money is Minshew going to want? We don't have top end backup quarterback money. If you're spending money in the backup quarterback position, that means you're not spending money somewhere else. And that's the problem. Right? Mm-hmm. And let's not forget that Allen Lazard was not supposed to be wide receiver 2 here. That was never the plan. At best case, he was supposed to be wide receiver 3. At worst case, he was supposed to be wide receiver 3. Best case, he was supposed to be wide receiver 4. I think Joe Douglas legitimately went into this offseason after he figured out, okay, we're going to get Aaron Rodgers, and legitimately thought Corey Davis isn't going to retire and he's going to stick around, and we're going to be able to bring in a free agent like Odell Beckham, and now we're going to have a wide receiver room that looks at least a little bit better. Are you not a little bit happier with a wide receiver room of Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, OBJ, Allen Lazard, McCole Hardman, and Randall Cobb if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback? That's a much better wide receiver room than what we have right now, which is made up of 3 undrafted free agents.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I just don't. I mean, the other thing is, like, the thing with Minshew is, like, and I like him too as a backup quarterback for sure, but, like, he has no reason to leave Indianapolis. He's got his coach there. I mean, he knows he's a backup quarterback. This is his career. He gets a chance to play there. They got a running quarterback who's probably going to continue to get injured once in a while, so he's going to get opportunity play time there. He's settled in nicely with a coach he likes and a system he likes. There just doesn't seem to be any reason why he'd come to the Jets.
My thing is, I don't think he even goes back to Indianapolis, but, like, Minshew's playing relatively well for Indianapolis this year. You know who doesn't have a quarterback next year? The Vikings. If the Vikings keep winning with Josh Dobbs, do they think that Minshew is an upgrade? Like, I think that's the conversation that you got to have. Mm-hmm. Like, why would any of these big guys come here to back up Rodgers, especially since we're not going to be offering top of the market money for a backup quarterback?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do at quarterback. I think that more than anything, what I'm curious about is, and I don't think it's going to be first round. What I'm curious about is, are we going to draft a quarterback, a young quarterback, like in the later rounds?
I would. This class is chock full of them. I tend to be in the idea of, I think you can theoretically, I think you can fix the offensive line and the wide receiver room not all that expensively in free agency. I think you can bring in an offensive tackle, whether it's Becton or somebody else or whatever it is. I think you can bring in somebody, and then you can also bring in a wide receiver and still have money left over to do all of these different things. And now I would look in the first round for a quarterback, not in the top 10. If that's where we're picking, I would trade out of the top 10 and get a guy in the bottom of the first, because I like some of those guys to sit behind Rodgers for 2 years and accumulating as many picks as possible. And this is a really deep offensive tackle class, really deep. Me and Dom just did our offensive tackle podcast where we talk about no, we're about to do it. So we're about to talk about it's coming out this week, where we get to talk about some of our favorite offensive tackles. And so you can get a really good one in the second round. You can get really good wide receivers in the second round and in the third round. And so I would look at it that way, but it's hard to imagine that Joe Douglas has the ability to look beyond this year, knowing that he's probably on the hot seat at the end of this year. So I think it's more likely that Tim Boyle is just the backup next year. There's no Zach, there's no nothing, and you just go, boom, it's just Tim and Aaron, and you're spending all of the money that you can to make this team better on offense. But I would take a kid. Like in the third round, if you can get Michael Pratt out of Tulane, I love that kid. I think he's a talent. I think he has the ability. Sit behind Rodgers for 2 years, a year, come in, and then we see what he has. But again, can you make that pick if you're Joe Douglas?
Yeah. And I'm gonna 100% agree with this. I mean, unless you got him for a third round pick only, because then you could just say you used your third round pick for a wide receiver, but it doesn't make sense. Why would the Raiders do it? People are acting.
That's the best one.
Right. The Raiders are not going to trade Devontae Adams for a third round pick, right? I mean, it doesn't.
It's not even that. Why are they going to trade Devontae Adams? Just end the sentence there.
Why are they going to trade Devontae Adams? Yes. If the Raiders were willing to give us Devontae Adams for a third round pick, of course we're going to do it.
But then they'd be picketing to sell the team. Like, that's what would happen. Raiders fans would riot. It's just not a reality. Right. Look, and again, this free agency class for wide receiver is really good. There's a lot of really good names coming out, and there's a lot of guys that we can look at bringing in that are going to, I think that can be really good. Maybe some of them don't actually sneak through, but T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, Mike Evans, Hollywood Brown, Calvin Ridley, Darnell Mooney, Tyler Boyd, Gabe Davis, Michael Thomas, DJ Chark, OBJ, Josh Reynolds, like a lot of these guys, Curtis Samuel, a lot of these guys, KJ Osborne, they're hitting free agency. You do that with a day 2 wide receiver. So now you've got let's say you got a Calvin Ridley in free agency, and then you add a Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU in the third round. It's a revamped wide receiver room, totally revamped. You got a young stud, big guy that you can fall in love with. I think he still leads the nation in touchdowns amongst all programs. So like you do that, and then let me look it up. I just want to make sure. So like, again, there's a lot of different ways that you can go about doing that. And then, yeah.
JW comes in and says that if we don't take a kid, shame on us. I agree. I think it's time to take a young quarterback no matter what in those later rounds. There's no question. I mean, I'm not going to use my first round pick on it, obviously. We need wide receiver and offensive line. But we need a young kid.
He still leads the nation.
We need a young kid, take a shot, throw a dart. Like you said, it's a good year for it. There's a lot of talented kids in there. The kid from Tulane. You never know when you're going to hit something. We've seen it before in football a million times. I mean, right now we've got Brock Purdy in the league, right? Bubble Boy pick, last pick of the 7th round. And I don't care what people say. I don't care the system. I don't care. He cannot be denied. He's one of the best quarterbacks in football the last 20 games he's played in. And that's the reality. Even if he's in a great system, he has a high completion rate, and and if we had that would be better than what we have, even if it was just as a backup quarterback. Do you think we'd be a better team if we had Brock Purdy, or do you think he would be?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, you think we would just
Brock
stay?
Purdy works. Brock Purdy works on one NFL team and one NFL team only, the San Francisco 49ers.
Really?
That's it. That's it. Brock Purdy is wildly unspectacular. It is like
You're not a fan of Brock.
it's not that I'm not a fan, dude. Kyle Shanahan is the.
He's a genius.
He is a genius, and he can make most quarterbacks work. The craziest part about this is Zach is done with the New York Jets at the end of this year, and he's going to end up in San Francisco because that's who Kyle Shanahan wanted. If Brock Purdy gets hurt and blah, 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 like there are 35 quarterbacks in the NFL right now that I think could work in that system, that can work in San Francisco. Jimmy G left San Francisco, went to the Raiders to get benched. And there were people who wanted Jimmy G this offseason.
Yeah.
That's a real conversation, man. I'm not going to try to deny Brock Purdy also has to go out there and execute the offense, and he can do that. But let's not act like Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle aren't some of the best yards after the catch and just, period, some of the best weapons in the NFL. Those are top 5 guys at their respective positions, every single one of them except for Ayuk. Like Deebo is a top 5 receiver. Christian McCaffrey is a top 3 running back. George Kittle, in my estimation, is the best tight end in football. He can do it all. You partner that with a really good offensive line and the best offensive mind in the sport. I'm sorry, most quarterbacks are going to work under that system.
And a really good offensive line to boot. So he's definitely in a great situation.
There are people, I don't believe this, but I saw this weekend and I fell out of my chair when I saw it. There were San Francisco fans in my mentions about a different thing that I said, arguing about Trent Williams being the best offensive tackle of all time. What other team is taking Brock Purdy and winnings, man? Come on.
Well, you know, when you say that he's the guy's been just
maybe Philadelphia because they have the best offensive line in football.
Yeah, right. But yeah, you have to understand. I mean, at the end of the day, he has 116 quarterback rating in the 20 games that he's played, or something like that, with a winning record.
Playing excellently.
So you got to understand that people are going to be taken aback and disagree with you if you're.
Of course. And again, I'm not trying to take anything away from Purdy, but this idea that Purdy is wildly mid. But that's what they need him to be, because Christian McCaffrey is elite. Deebo Samuel is elite. Brandon Ayuk is borderline elite. George Kittle is elite. Trent Williams is elite. The rest of the team is elite around him. And that really helps a young quarterback.
I think every quarterback is helped when they have a great offensive line and great receivers and tight end, and a great defense. So when you
Look what happened to Tua. Look what happened to Tua when they go out and they get Josh Allen. I was going to talk about Josh Allen next. Look at what happened with Tua. They got Jalen Waddle. They went and got Tyreek Hill, and they got him an offensive mind, a really, really smart one, and he's operating on all cylinders. And a year or two ago, they were talking about moving on from Tua. He's injury prone. They can't, and the injury stuff is still there. But now Tua is probably going to be in the conversation for the MVP, which is insane. But Tua, is he a spectacular quarterback? He's accurate. Absolutely accurate. But do you think that Tua is an insanely, oh my gosh, this guy is going to work everywhere? No, we've seen him not work on his team. Look what happened to Josh Allen. Josh Allen was wildly unspectacular. They go out and they get him Stephon Diggs, who at the time was a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL, and some might argue still is. They gave him an offensive coordinator that was really, really good in Brian Daboll. And now they were handed the keys to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row without having done anything to accomplish it. I'm just saying, when you get elite players around a good guy, I don't disagree, Eddie. I'm not comparing Purdy to Zach. Zach is worse than Purdy, which is saying something, but that's not what I was saying.
Well, I think it just goes to, I mean, there's some truth in both sides of it. Like, Purdy's in a great system. We don't know how he would look if he was playing for another team, for sure. Like, if you take away the best offensive line and start putting the kid under pressure, if he doesn't have great receivers, he has the best, amazing tight ends, historically good tight ends, an insane couple of receivers in Ayuk and Samuel. And a great running back that takes, a lot of attention from a defense. I mean, a running back who does it all. I mean, the kid's got everything around him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think,
Again,
but the other truth is that's every quarterback, right? I mean, like almost a lot. Like there's a lot of quarterbacks who their careers are impacted by where they are and what their specific situation is. And we've seen it because we've seen quarterbacks look very good in some systems, and then they're done. They can't do it anywhere else. And people say, what happened to that kid? Well, Ryan Tannehill. Right, he was horrible for Miami, and then there was a couple of years there in Tennessee where they put up him in a really good situation, and he looked good in that situation for a year or two. And as soon as that situation went away and started to fall apart a little, who's Ryan Tannehill?
I think I look at it like another player that's like this, and I think he's starting to come into his own. Is kind of Jalen Hurts, not to the same extreme of Brock Purdy, but Jalen Hurts is a guy who was a second-round pick, was wildly athletic, and what did they do for Jalen Hurts? They gave him the best offensive line in football. They used a first-round pick on a wide receiver and then traded for a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. They've invested a ton in the run game to making sure that he can run the ball. And then they manufactured one of the best defenses on the other side of that. So Jalen Hurts now is in a system that's able to highlight his abilities. And now he's starting to take those next steps, which is something that he can do, which is he's starting to be the guy, right? Before I used to think as Jalen Hurts as a guy, as a product of the system. And now you're starting to see better out of him. And now he's starting to elevate and not being just a guy on one of the best rosters in the NFL, but the guy on the best roster in the NFL, which is great for him. And I just don't see Purdy ever doing that. But like going back to that is like, what happens if Shanahan gets his hands on Zach Wilson with all of those traits and his brilliant mind and what he can do? That's who they came up to go get, right? That's what they traded a 3 for. This was Zach Wilson. Yeah. That's who they came up for. That's public knowledge. It's crazy when you think of all that stuff. Yeah. A lot of what ifs out there.
Yeah. So nose kills, one final shot of the Jets offensive line. Look, it hasn't been consistent. It hasn't been pretty. We haven't had an offensive line. Whether it's due to injury or Joe Douglas, you can say whatever you want. The one thing that's a reality is we haven't seen a great offensive line since the days of Rex Ryan in 2010 and 2009. It's been it's been a long time, and that's just the reality, and it's something they're going to have to figure out. At least I think so. I think you just have to figure out offensive line, and hopefully, again, we can't say it enough. One of the key pieces of that would be to not be injured. I know a lot of fans are upset right now. We're all really mad. I get it.
Yep,
I get it. I mean, no one likes this. No one likes this. These are the realities that we're talking about the draft on Thanksgiving weekend. These are the realities.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it is what being a Jet fan has been for so many of the years. I've been a fan for over 40 years, and so many of those seasons has been this.
Just injury, man.
With a little
injury, killing seasons.
It's just unbelievable. Yeah, just unbelievable how many seasons we've lost due to not just our own inability as an organization, but injuries. It really has impacted us many times throughout the years. Like key injuries that have just sucked the life out of this football team.
Dude, it's crazy. It's legitimately crazy. We're spending upwards to, I don't know, like 30, 40, 50. I think we're at like $48 million on the offensive line. We have 2 first-round picks on the offensive line, a second-round pick on the offensive line, a fourth, and then a 5th-round pick on the offensive line. The amount of assets that we have invested in this offensive line for every single one of them to get hurt. It's just unprecedented. It's unprecedented.
Spock, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Appreciate you hanging with us, staying with us.
Guys.
Only worth it because of you guys that are here with us. It's the only thing that makes it worth being here. So, otherwise it would be a drag. I want to say, if you want more of this, you get plenty of this. If you go and subscribe to Talking Jets with Tigo, you get videos with this kind of processing and thinking, this kind of bluntness and honesty. Obviously, you guys know Jets Chaos. We do a live show every Wednesday night. Tigo's a regular on the show. And we have conversations like this. And I also, again, want to say, if you guys want to have some fun, because certainly we're not getting it from the Jets, and you want to see our friend GreenBean turn red and eat some hot sauce, we have an upcoming special. The date has not been selected, but the hot sauces have been ordered. Do you want to see GreenBean eat one of the hottest hot sauces right now sold in America? Well, the Apollo, which is one of the right now unrated, but made by Pucker Ed Puckerman or whatever his name is. Anyway, it's hotter than the Reaper. 2 million Scoville units. The Apollo hot sauce. It's the number 10 hot sauce on Hot Ones. It's that final sauce that they eat, that they use for the last dab. And GreenBean and myself and my brothers are going to be eating that hot sauce live on my channel. That channel is Brooklyn Brothers Food Review. If you go there, you won't only see that, but you'll see a lot of me and my brothers rating food. We're in restaurants, eating food and rating it. It's a lot of fun. People like it. So check it out, Brooklyn Brothers Food Review. Talking Jets with Tigo, Jets Chaos. Give us a sub if you like what I'm saying.
Real quick, another little shout out as well. Dom C, you guys are all familiar with Dom C. Dom C and I, we have also started doing draft content. If you're ready for some draft content, head over to Project Prospect. We do a weekly podcast where we talk about our favorite draft stuff. We've been doing this for a couple of weeks now. New episodes every Tuesday. This upcoming week, we're going to be talking about offensive linemen. Last week, I believe we talked about wide receivers, and we're going to go over every single one of these positions. We're going to do mock drafts for all of the teams. We're going to be doing a ton of content draft related. So if I'm not there yet to give up on the season, maybe I am. I don't know. We'll give it a couple of hours for me to digest all this. But if you're giving up on the season and you want to learn more about draft content and the draft guys that are coming out, this is a really, really, really cool class. So go and hit the subscribe button over there. Me and Dom would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. 1189 Paris. Jeremy, you did a great job. And Chico filled it out. Well, thank you, 1189 Paris. You're a good friend. You're a good supporter, and we appreciate you as well. Did our best today. It's thank you, Eddie. It's not easy to come in here on GreenBean channel and do this. I definitely feel a lot more pressure when I'm on my own channel, because I know we're filling some great shoes. I know everybody comes here for GreenBean. He's an incredible personality. Just, in my opinion, the best in the business. So it's actually just really an honor to be sitting, on this channel, being trusted with his channel. So, we appreciate the support and everything. GreenBean will be back for the rest of the games. Have no fear about that. But I definitely agree that Tigo's done an amazing job today. I knew he would. Never had a doubt. Because we always have a good time and we always have great conversation anytime we're together, no matter whose channel. Just a couple more chats to see. Let's see. Jeremy,
I actually got to head out because the babies are crying.
Okay.
So I'm gonna head on out of here.
Okay, we're gonna end it anyway, guys. Thank you so much again, everybody who was here that spent time with us. We are out of here. Check out our sites for reactions. I'm sure GreenBean will have some reactions. Everybody, take care, and I'll leave you with something. I don't know. Let's see. I'll leave you with this.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, man.
I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah! You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just go over and get onto the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.